augusta.com/radio.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station. Todd.
Sometimes fraud gives you movement. It sounded like it moved.
Hahn.
You heard a squish?
And Rosenberg.
Shake gently to assure complete activation. Hello.
This isn't North Dakota. This is New York.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
The best threesome I've ever heard.
On ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
301 of the big city. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg with you until 6:30. I am coming to you live from Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm able to check another state off my bucket list, Alan.
Nice.
I've never been to Salt Lake City or Utah. I was here on a layover, but they say that doesn't count.
No, you got to step foot. How's the weather?
You got to step foot. And about 60 degrees. I went for a walk after breakfast. And there is something, honestly, to seeing mountains. Now, we've all seen mountains on the East Coast, but when you come out here and you see those mountains in the distance, it is pretty breathtaking. If you go to places like, Colorado and Utah, it is pretty cool. So to see them out in the distance was very nice. And of course, Alan Hahn is at the Garden as the Knicks get ready to take on the Sixers later on. How are you, buddy? Everything good?
Yeah. Looking forward to this game tonight. It's going to be interesting tonight after what happened last night. Johnny, so many people texted me after that game last night and said, like, that's my favorite game of the season. Now, it's still early, but, the fun of the NBA Cup, that was a fun game. But there was just something about playing shorthanded, not giving in, not giving up, getting contributions from players that you had to Google because you didn't know they were on your team. There was a lot to that. And then Brunson being Brunson in the end. Let's see what they do tonight now against a Sixer team that's been sitting around since Sunday.
Right.
This NBA Cup schedule, man, it's a problem that the league definitely needs to consider more than, whether or not they should play at Cameron Indoor Stadium. How about make sure whoever has to play in the final needs a couple of days after to play.
I'm glad you say that because, again, we were both on board with it, all right? And I don't want to make this a whole show because we got lots to get to. Darnold with a big win for Seattle yesterday against the Rams. Best of both worlds for me.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted the Seahawks to win, but the Rams still covered by the half point. So I got my 3-point play already out of the way, which is nice. Amazing. And we'll get into a lot of different things as King is now off the board for the Mets or Yankees. He re-signed with the Padres. But I don't want to make this a whole show on the worth of the NBA Cup and all that. I think everybody has already had their say. But whatever they do, however they try to improve it, maybe instead of focusing on how to make it more interesting for the fans, how about making sure that it doesn't screw with the regular season, all right? And, you gave the stats, you give them now, and how the two previous champions, the Bucks and the Lakers, fared after winning the Cup.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this on MSG pregame tonight if I get a chance to. It's amazing. We already said the Knicks played Wednesday, and they had to fly Thursday. The Knicks played Tuesday. They had to fly Wednesday to play Thursday in Indianapolis, right, last night. Mm-hmm. First game of back-to-back, which they played tonight. This starts a stretch of 4 games, if you count Tuesday, in 6 days. And then they do a one and done, fly to Minnesota, play a game, come back, and then play noon on Christmas Day. And then after that game, guess what they do? Then they go on a road trip. So it's like you get 1 day. So the previous 2 teams. So the Knicks win that game last night, but they had a couple of guys had to sit. We'll see who will end up playing tonight. There's a couple of guys like Hart and Towns were out last night. They're probable for today. That's good news. But here's the previous 2 winners and how this is a hangover that everybody's worried about with the NBA Cup. Never mind the winner ended up losing in the first round. That's irrelevant. That's 4 months later.
Yeah. And I'm not sure how great those teams were to begin with anyway.
That's another thing. And then Bucks last year had tons of injuries. But this was more the concern for me, and I looked it up. The Bucks last year had 2 days off after winning the Cup. They lost that game and went on to lose 5 of their next 8. The Lakers won the first one 2 years ago. They had 3 days off before their next game. They lost 10 of the next 13. Doesn't that defeat the purpose of the Cup being meaningful and that game having some type of you got to play hard for this. You're going to want this. If I know it's going to lead to, number one, you're throwing me right back to the Wolves into the season. Number two, there's a hangover that we're seeing trending-wise that the Knicks are going to try to stop this year. But when you look at the schedule ahead for them, it's something I'm keeping an eye on. That's for damn sure.
I think if the Knicks bottom out, God forbid this year, get bounced, something happens and they don't get their destination. I can't see them losing in the first round, but if something like that were to happen, the NBA would have to look at this. They would have to.
Oh yeah,
and because what's going to end up happening, Alan, is that if the trend, because it's all analytics, it's all trending, that if you're a team that has aspirations to win a championship, you're going to strategically make sure you don't make it to Vegas.
Who's
right?
to say, right? I'm
going to have my load management game be the game leading in, so I don't get to the knockout. I don't want to go to the knockout
quarterfinal,
round.
Right?
Right. Tank the quarterfinal, exactly. And then the league would have to do something about it because that's going to look bad.
Or the semi. If the semi's now at home, you're not going to Vegas anymore. Remember, the semi's going to be on the higher seed's home court.
Right.
So if you have that as a home court game, maybe you tank. Maybe you'll say because that's the last game that counts. But you don't want to go to the final because that game doesn't count, right, towards your record.
Right.
And if you win it, there's history. There's this this thing that happens to the winner. So yeah, it's something they should address, and that's why I'm bringing it up because the league needs to hear about it.
Yeah, and they got to figure something out. Like they don't want to go on a long hiatus, but you don't know who's going to win this, right? That Indiana game was scheduled, but they mess with the schedule depending on how things work going into this anyway. Just make sure that you get 3-4 days off, so that you have a chance to rest because you don't want to ever get to that point where they're not going to make it look obvious, but hey, I think it's better off if we don't win this. Because let's take a look at the Knicks. The Knicks are a team that's going to compete for a championship this year and for the foreseeable future, you would think, right? Mm-hmm. Well, they've already got the cup in their back pocket, so next year they'll be like, I don't have to win this again, but I'm not going to go through what we went through last year. So let's strategically lose in the quarters or the semis, make it look. If you're the league, you don't want that.
No.
So as much as you don't want to have any downtime, 2-3 days without any NBA basketball, just make sure that the winner and the loser get a nice parachute so they're not killing themselves to make it where they're going to try not to win.
Give me a couple of home games. Give me at least 2 days off in between.
Exactly.
Let me get one day. That night, they got you doing all the crazy stuff in the locker room. They're taking video of everything. Get the next day where it's like, all right, exhale, fly home, get a day off at home, reconvene, and then a couple of home games. But the problem is they don't know who's going to win this thing, so how do they know who should be home and who shouldn't? It's hard to decipher, but I wanted to point it out because A, it needs to be out there, and B, because what the Knicks have ahead of them right now, schedule-wise, I want to keep an eye on this. I want to see, is this going to impact them? Are they going to start, running out of gas a little bit? And last night was a great example of, in the post-Tibbs era, which a lot of people were on Tibbs about stuff, where they said, we're going to rest some guys that are banged up, and they were, and we're going to go deep into our bench. We have guys that we have been preparing for this moment, and everybody but Yabusele came in the game and did something positive. Everybody. Mm-hmm. So, and then obviously Jalen Brunson, here's the story of what happened last night with Jalen Brunson. He did not have a great game. You could see he was getting worn down. And the Pacers still have some guys that love to beat him up and love to defend him. Nembhard's one of them. And late in the game, Brunson missed a 3, and it looked like he was trying to do a kill shot, missed it. And that's one of those, all right, well, he missed that. They're probably going to lose. Then he dribbles it off his foot, goes out of bounds. That was terrible against tough defense. And he looked exhausted. Siakam hits 2 free throws. Knicks get the ball. Nembhard, they have a foul to give. So Nembhard uses it on Brunson. And, instead of just fouling him, he, kind of shoulder checks him to the floor. And immediately realized, that was excessive and tried to help him up. But Brunson, didn't even take his hand. No, get out of here.
The old Emmitt Smith.
Right.
No, the opposite of Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith would make sure that I don't want to have to get up on my own. Help me up. But
yeah, no, it was Brunson's thing is he doesn't want the other team to ever help up someone, so he always just stay down until one of your boys gets there. Mm-hmm. So, all right, so now there's a take foul. Now there's less time on the clock. The Knicks call a timeout. They have a huddle. Brown draws up a play. They come out of the huddle. Brunson walks by Brown. He's got a look in his face like he's pissed. He looks at Brown. He goes, I'm going for the win. And Brown's like, all right, you do you, man. Like, all right. So whatever that play was, we never saw it. As he's walking out of the huddle, Brunson's eyes are locked on Nembhard, and Nembhard can't even look at him. Nembhard's got, like, looking down at the floor, like, because he knows, like, that was I know that foul was excessive. It pissed him off. Brunson gets the ball, goes right back to the same spot where he missed the three, drilled it. And then he does his celebration, and he stares right at Nembhard, and then he gives, like, the three signal towards Tyrese Halliburton on the bench. And, I mean, that's cold-blooded, making that shot to win the game, a game they had no business winning. And you could just see he was exhausted, but something pissed him off, and he's like, you know what? Blank that. I'm taking this one. And there was no doubt in my mind. When I saw the look in his eyes when he came out of the huddle, Don, right away I said, is there any doubt he's making this? Is anyone doubting that he's going to make whatever this shot is, he's making it?
Yeah.
So it tells you a lot about what he is and what he's about. And Mike Brown talking him up as MVP, he's got a case, man, the way he's been playing early this season.
And I wish that some Knicks fans, would appreciate him more, because we still get that odd phone call that he's not the star, that you need that other guy. I just wish that they would appreciate what he brings to the table. Already the national media, well, you don't win with a guy that small as your best player and all that, and I think he feeds off that. I just hope Knicks fans really appreciate having, and I think for the most part they do, but when you start talking about Giannis, you need another guy, you can't win with a guy that small, he's not a true superstar. We still get those calls, nights like last night, and I know it's the Pacers and they're beat up and all that, but that would have been an ugly loss, and it didn't happen. Now you fast forward to today, no Embiid for Philly,
right?
And the Knicks are a 6.5-point favorite at home.
Yeah.
But, it's still very fluid, right? Like, they won last night, but now you're taking on a better team. If you lose tonight,
who plays fast?
Well, that's going to be, they lost because it's the second of back-to-backs, and they had to play on Tuesday in Vegas. So it's still very, very fluid as far as them being affected by what happened on Tuesday night in Vegas. But we'll see.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We're going to see what, the residual effect over the next week. That's what I'd keep an eye on. Like, do they start to look tired?
Well, those stats are pretty glaring.
Yeah. We saw it last year that the team got tired, but it was because there was an overusage of the starting five. There were a couple of games I remember, a back-to-back San Antonio-Charlotte. They looked awful. They just had nothing in the tank. And then when they tried to use guys off the bench, these are guys that never played. So they just, what were they going to do? They had zero rhythm. So what they're doing this year, last night was a game they would have lost last year. And that's coming from a guy who was, obviously I'm a Tibbs apologist. I think the world of him as a coach. But the approach that Mike Brown has brought this year, you can see it there's evidence of it in different areas. Last night was one of those areas because Tyler Kolek has become a revelation off the bench. He's been phenomenal, and he was a guy that, you didn't know. Could he make it? Could he not make it? He's showing you that he can. And then, these guys, these big men they're bringing off the bench, Trey Jemison. Did you even know he was on the roster?
No, I did not.
No, of course not. Ariel Hukporti. They're coming in just playing their ass off. But they're also prepared. They know what to do. They don't look lost. And that's, to me, that says a lot. Tonight, if you get Cat's probable, Hart's probable, your starting five should be intact if they both play. And so you should be fine in a game against a Sixer team that's got some juice because they play really fast. They're not a great team, but they're a tough team. And they haven't, by the way, you know what, the last time they played? Sunday. They haven't played since Sunday, Don. So
and so where was that game on Sunday?
I don't know, but I think it was home.
Yeah, so
or at Atlanta, something like that. Yeah, it was at Atlanta.
no real travel, and that's almost to the point where it's probably too long not to play. But listen, that's gonna affect things for sure. So that's still very fluid. But a fun win last night, a fun moment, and it's cool to hear Knicks fans that you were around, reacting. I was on the plane, so I wasn't able to see it in real time, but just coming back and seeing the way that they won, watching the highlights, seeing the reaction from Knicks fans that I know it's only a game in December, and they've got much bigger games coming up, but that's cool that they looked at it and said, this is the best win of the year.
Because you're seeing something.
Yeah.
Like, how what you're looking at, right? You watch a team play, and you're like, nah, that's legit. And then there's times where it's like, nah, they're getting lucky. They're pulling that win out of their ass. Like, this isn't that. Like, this is a very prepared team that's ultra competitive, that has a star that in clutch moments makes big plays, and they don't ever want to concede anything. That was pretty. That was a pretty impressive game, even though, again, we all know the Pacers are ravaged with injury. But the Knicks didn't have their full lineup. They were missing some major pieces.
Sure.
And they were down 16. Any other team would have been like, nah, we're done.
Yeah,
especially
we're good.
The second half, they cut it to 1, then it went back to 11. At some point, don't you just human nature tell you, that's not our night, let it go.
Yeah, it's not our night.
But
we're exhausted. We got a game tomorrow.
Right.
No, that's when you really can see.
Yeah.
It's big. Hey, it was a big night for the Garden captains, right? Brunson with the big shot to beat the Pacers. JT Miller wins a game in overtime that would have been even getting a point in St. Louis. Had they lost that game, the way they played against Vancouver, St. Louis is not good. Another loss for the Rangers, even in overtime or the shootout, would have not been good. So Miller gets the goal in overtime. He's been very clutch for them this season. Anthony, what is that in overtime? It's at least 2.
He's got 3.
3. I was going to say, I know he had the 2 recently, so 3 of his 10 goals have been in overtime. So that was a nice win for the Rangers. We had a great game last night between the Rams and the Seahawks. We've got a big weekend of college football coming up starting tonight, Alabama and Oklahoma, which you can hear on 1050 tonight. And then we'll join that game in progress after the Knicks. And then tomorrow at noon, Miami and Texas. That game's going to be on 1050 a.m. as well at 12 noon because the Rangers have an afternoon game. So some big college football, NFL, but we're starting with the Knicks, and people want to react to them at 1-800-919-3776. So let's dive into it, and let's start it off with Dave, who's in Boston. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Dave?
Hey, gentlemen. So before I get into my NBA Cup point, Don, I just want to say I'm so happy you are the voice of the Devils. After the great Doc Emmerich, I think I look forward to listening to you because I would listen to Doc and Chico even when the Devils were not very good, just to listen to them. So now that you're the voice, I look forward to listening to these games for you. I'm hoping the Devils have a good year.
That's great.
That means a lot. Thank you so much, man.
But for the NBA Cup point, I think I agree with what Alan said a couple of days ago, where the game should not only count, but also there should be like another added something on top. So instead of having like 50 wins, you have 50.5 wins because now you've won the NBA Cup, so that turns into like a tiebreaker to make it more meaningful.
Oh, I agree.
I don't know what you guys think on that.
Yeah, Dave, I do think that has to be discussed. That let's stop. By the way, are we sick and tired of hearing about how much money the players are getting? Every broadcast, somebody had to mention the money. Okay, we get it.
That's not a positive.
But Dave's
for the
right.
fans.
I agree with you. Dave's right. You should add something that is incentive-wise for the team, but that fans also will see as valuable. Because I agree. Give me that ability. Like it's an extreme, but an automatic bid to the playoffs this early in the season. That's pretty strong. There's another one that says, like Dave said, now I have the ultimate tiebreaker. Every tiebreaker I win. So I get the higher seed. Right? Home court advantage throughout the playoffs in your conference. That's also interesting, right? That's something. But there has to be something so as a fan, you come away with it feeling like, all right, they won this, this cup, and that's kind of cool. But what's even better is when we get in the playoffs, either we're already in, or like the X is next to your name in December, or we know we have home court the whole way, and that's huge, no matter what seed we are.
And for the winner, it lives for the immediate future as a positive instead of the negative of how it's going to affect us with all these games piling up and if somebody got hurt. Yeah, I'm with you. But right now I think their biggest task is going to try to make sure that these games don't pile up the way that they have so you don't see those stark numbers that you saw with the Lakers and the Bucks after winning it. Let's go to Ted in the truck. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Ted?
Guys. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey, Ted.
Good.
Hey, So last night, in the Cup game, I expected coming into last night them to have a champagne hangover, and I sport bet, so I bet Matherin to score. And I was very impressed, because I thought the game was going to be close. I was very impressed how the Knicks battled after winning that, because it was a natural letdown spot, which no one's really talking about. Like, it's a very big letdown spot where the way that they showed and the fight that they showed and the depth, it was awesome. I really did. I'm really getting into this team. I really think they're really playing well. And I have one thing to add about the NBA Cup and how it can matter more. I would love that if you win the NBA Cup during the playoffs, when you get to go up one seed. So let's say you finish with the 7, you would get to move up to the 6. If you finished at the 2, you would get to move up to the 1.
Oh, so it's like an automatic. I get it. It's like the old, Ted. It's like the old when you win your division, you automatically get a top 4 seed. Like that's the old rule used to be that. And they took it away because they wanted the records to matter more. But this is different. You win the cup, you automatically are a top 4 seed.
Yeah, which I think that might be better than even what I suggested. I kind of like that. If you win the cup,
I'm
matter
into
what,
anything.
You're a top 4 seed.
I'm into anything that makes the game like
Fine.
the word that Mad Dog used, saying inauthentic. He's not wrong. But so how do you make it more authentic? It's got to have true meaning, not just a trophy.
True, but the thing is that it's not all equal, right? Like, because will it matter if you move up from a 7 to, well, maybe because of the play?
Yeah, it does.
If
for
you move
6,
up a 6 to 5, it's not going to matter.
Well,
if you move up to 2 to 1, it's going to matter.
Oh,
so there's going to be some years it matters and some years it doesn't matter. And I got to be honest with you. I know we can talk about, well, you should have won the cup. Well, what if I played shorthanded in the month of December? I'm playing without my best player.
The way it goes.
And I don't win the cup. But I overcome it. I keep my head above water, and then I'm amazing in the second half of the season. I finished with the best record in the NBA. I beat you every single time we played you in the regular season.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And now when you win the cup, now you're going to leapfrog over me? No. That doesn't seem right. Now that won't happen all the time either.
No.
But I you could see there be years where it's like, really? And
we could spitball this for a while, but we can agree on this. There has to be one thing out of all the ideas we've been kicking around. There's just got to be one thing. That's all. But that's behind us. This whole cup thing's behind us. I'm looking ahead. This Knicks team in that win last night, just what Ted said, there's just something happening with this group, which is why I said what I said yesterday. Some people were not happy when I said this is not the time to trade for Giannis. And if you're Giannis, you don't want them to trade for you right now. Well, you need to now, what he said last night about how, well, that's my agent and I'm here. He should be saying that now until July. Do not force a trade in February that you're going to regret. Wait this out. It'll work out best for everyone if you wait this out. But can he?
We'll see. 1-800-919-3776. We've got a huge show for you on a Friday. We've got Fraud Alert Friday coming up at 4:30. We got our picks at 5:45. And we also have an ENN led by Anthony Pusick at 6. We're taking up until 6:30. Then it's Knicks Sixers right here on ESPN New York.
Round 1 of the college football playoff. Let's go! Tomorrow, Oklahoma hosts Alabama. Then on Saturday, it's Miami at Texas A&M. Followed by Tulane at Ole Miss. And finally, James Madison at Oregon. Round 1 coverage on 1050, 880, and the ESPN New York app.
There's a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. During the More to Move You event, lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-5 2.5S all-wheel drive for $229 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN S077553, MSRP $30,920. Zero security deposit. Ends 1/2/26.
Knicks fans, it's time for basketball, and the action starts tonight at Goldie's Tavern with Team ESPN New York and Ultra. Whether you need a pregame spot or you're looking for the right Knicks bar to watch the game versus the 76ers, Goldie's Tavern is your destination. The party tips off at 6:30 p.m., and Team ESPN will be giving away ESPN, Ultra, and Knicks prizes. Join fellow Knicks fans tonight at 135 West 30th Street. Cheer on your Knicks, enjoy Ultra draft and bottle specials, and cool prizes all game long at Goldie's Tavern.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it. That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
When equipment breaks down and operations come to a halt, every single second counts. So why is your maintenance team spending 60% of their time doing anything but turning wrenches? MaintainX is the AI-powered maintenance and asset management system that helps your team get back to actually fixing breakdowns. No more searching for manuals. No more hunting down parts. No more drowning in paperwork. With MaintainX, your team can access manuals from anywhere, create new procedures in minutes, and turn voice notes into clear and complete work order feedback. What used to take hours now only takes minutes. Keep your operations moving, not your paperwork. Join over 11,000 maintenance teams that are already fixing more and filing less. Try MaintainX for free today. Go to maintainx.com/AI. That's maintain and the letter x.com/AI.
There are small risks in life, like giving a kid a football to play with in the house.
Whoa, watch out for the... Okay.
And then there are big gambles, like giving a kid a lottery ticket. Never gift a lottery ticket to a person under 18. Learn more about how to gift responsibly during the holidays at playresponsiblyny.com. Please gift responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Hey there, guys. Good afternoon and happy Friday, but not a happy ride out there on the roads, especially tough on the Grand Central westbound in Queens. Right after the BQE, heading over to the Triborough Bridge, a big crash, traffic only getting by on the shoulder. Jam there, not moving much, heading past LaGuardia from City Field. Best of it's the outbound George Henry Hudson, and that's a packed ride. Second choice West Side Highway northbound, some pockets of slowdowns from the 90s. Inbound George, just about 5 to 10 for the upper deck. Outbound Lincoln, your best ride at 20 to 30. Outbound Holland close to 40. Just jammed on the Staten Island Expressway westbound, heading over to the West Shore. Delays go back across the Verrazano into Brooklyn. This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunken drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Visit mad.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
This college football season, show your school spirit every time you pay. Introducing college-branded Venmo debit cards. Rep your team on and off the field with custom school designs that let everyone know who you root for. Whether you're tailgating, grabbing snacks for the watch party, or celebrating a win, you can unlock 15% cash back at ESPN. 1 free year of Perplexity Pro and more. This college football season, score more with the Venmo debit card. Get yours now in the Venmo app. Learn more at venmo.com/collegecard.
Max cashback varies. Terms apply. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank, N.A.
At AT&T, we guarantee our network so you can talk college football with your BFF while taking Buster to the vet.
Hey, yeah, I can't believe he ate the whole thing of chicken wings.
And I can't believe we're staging a comeback. Touchdown!
Yes! Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, you'll automatically get a bill credit for a full day's service. For wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers, must be connected to impacted tower at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details.
Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, Alan.
It's Tully time! It's Tully time!
You were so disappointed.
Knicks host the Sixers with coverage immediately following us at 8:80 at 6:30. Coverage of Oklahoma, Alabama will be on 10:50 starting at 7:30. We'll join the game in progress on 8:80 after the Knicks coverage.
You want to watch this game. You want to watch that game.
the ice. The Islanders host the Canucks at 7, and the Devils are out here in Utah for a 9 o'clock face-off against the Mammoth.
9:08 puck drop.
9:08 puck drop it is. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Talking a little Knicks to start. We'll get into the football a little bit. It is a football Friday, and, of course, at 4:30, we've got Fraud Alert Friday. Blanderson Hooper always wants to talk Knicks. You're on ESPN New York.
How's it going, guys?
It's going.
So before I get to my real Nick point, just a little tongue-in-cheek here for motivation for the Cup. I think that moving forward, that whoever wins the Cup should decide home field advantage for the World Series, and the motto should be "This time it counts." Not sure what you think about that, but
I never thought it was good when baseball did it, so I can't imagine it would work there. But I get your humor.
So my question is, and Alan, you touched on this before. So one of the things we've been talking about since the beginning of the season is the need for a backup point guard and another big. Do you think, based on like the last couple of games, that Kolek has shown enough that we need another big, but we can kind of forget about the idea of looking for a more experienced backup? Do you think that he has shown that he could be capable of being that guy behind Brunson?
He has until February 5th. And Deuce McBride also has not been playing. And what Mike does once McBride comes back is going to be interesting because they are two very different guards. And so one is a great three-point shooter and a dogged defender. The other one is an outstanding quarterback on the court. And he can shoot. He knows how to score.
Really a point guard.
No, he's not. That's what I mean. But there's minutes there, and you got to figure out who's going to do it. I want to watch, though, because like anything we saw, I'll tell you what. You remember Linsanity. Jeremy Lin looked unbelievable until everybody started taking it serious. And then all of a sudden it was game planning to stop him. And once that started happening, Linsanity was over. So I think with Kolek, you got to see now when teams start saying, hey, this guy comes in the game, this is what he does, this is what we're taking away. Can he adjust? Can he handle it? Can he handle being put in ISO against athletic, bigger guards who are going to seek him out and try to take advantage? Watch tonight. The Sixers have a lot of athletic guards. And when he's out there, do they go hunt him and find him and try to exploit him, or can he handle it? So these are all things we've got to learn now that he's got our attention. How does he now adjust as other teams adjust, and now that he's on the scouting report, all those things. T.J. McConnell has done it for 10 years in the league. So it's not that it's impossible. And T.J. McConnell was an important piece on a team that went to the finals. So Kolek
and that's
has
what
it
Mike
in him.
Brown was talking about after the game.
Yes, sir.
He specifically said that's the kind of player he thinks he could be. So.
Yep. That's exactly why I tweeted the old Yoda and young and baby Yoda meme last night.
But you make a good point. If we're noticing, the rest of the league is noticing, and now he's going to be a part of the game plan, no surprises, and that's truly where greatness comes in. When they can game plan for you, they know you're coming, and you still can't be stopped.
Right.
And the Linsanity analogy is a good one because as they started to get film, they started working on him, and then he kind of came back down to earth. I'm not sure what Houston was thinking, and they were proven wrong after that contract. And O'Connor, who we love, still cursed the Knicks to this day for not re-signing Linsanity, but that turned out to be the right move, which was hard. Now, we obviously Kolek hasn't reached that level yet, but it's still showing you that he's raising some eyebrows, not just in New York, but more importantly around the NBA.
Yep.
And on that topic, we go to Roy and Patterson. You're on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
Hey, guys. You know what? Hahn, you turned around and mentioned something or another that I wanted to go ahead and bring up with regards to that insanity with Kolek.
Yep.
But I also wanted to go ahead and get an idea of what your thoughts are with regards to, Quickly in his second year. How would those two with Kolek compare with Quickly?
Yeah.
And how would, what's your thoughts are with regards to that? Thank you, guys. Happy holidays.
Back at you, Roy. That's a really good one to bring up because
it is.
Quickly became a Six-Man of the Year candidate because he was just so good off the bench. He'd get hot. He could carry you offensively. he was trying to become a point guard. He still is, where he's a facilitator. He can run an offense, but that guy could score, man. He could get on burners. And I don't know if Kolek looks more like a floor general, where he understands passing. He always knows where the open man is. Very smart. He can run an offense, get you organized. Those are all things that are very different from Quickly. But impact off the bench, like Quickly had a couple of years ago, yeah, like that's something I'm waiting to see. Is can he do that? I love the fact that he and Brunson together. You talk about taking pressure off Brunson, where he doesn't have to bring the ball up the floor against pressure because Kolek can do it, and then Brunson plays off the ball, and they have a telepathy right now. Like Kolek's got a great telepathy. He knows where people are, especially his best player. Those are things that are emerging with him. So I just need to see more like that. I'm like, I never want to get too crazy when somebody starts to play well. Okay, this is great. But let's see it consistently now to over 10-game span, and then you can really start to buy into it.
And that's part of the regular season for a team like the Knicks. For some teams, the regular season is just to get in.
Yep.
For other teams, it's evaluating, are we going to make a move at the deadline? Are we not going to make a move at the deadline?
Yep.
You might play your way into not wanting Giannis this year. You may play your way into not needing a backup for Brunson. You may play your way into, boy, we really need to improve this defense, or maybe not, or this bench. That's why you play the regular season, to find out. Now, it's still early, but you might get to a point where, hey, this could be pretty big. This could be a lot of fun and not have to make all of those moves. Let's go to Gil in Brooklyn. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Gil?
Gentlemen, what's going on? Hey, Alan, kudos on the Kolek call. It's just what you said. You're not going to know what he's about until teams start gearing up towards him and coming at him, either on the offensive side or playing him defensively. The second thing that I wanted to talk to you about, I don't know what it is, why we can't get a versatile three. I don't look at what's the name as a three, OG as a three, and I don't see what's the name. I don't see him as a three. We need a versatile three.
So give me an example.
Shoot.
Give me an example. Like could you name somebody that you would say is like a versatile three?
Right now, the way the league is, because I don't watch the league as much as I used to, I'm going to say a three in the likes of like a Bernard King, a guy that can create his own shot when you clear the side for him.
Right.
Somebody like that. I just need somebody that can score and don't have to worry about a point guard getting him the ball. He can bring the ball up and get his own shot. We haven't had that in so long. I think that's going to show us rear its head, because as you know in the playoffs, the defense turns up. And then that's why, what's the name, Brunson in the playoffs, yeah, he gets his, but it's harder to do because defense are now able to key on you. When you have a guy that can create his own outside of Brunson, then your offense can open up. And I think with Mike Brown, what he really wants to do with this offense is key to have a three that can create his own shot.
Gil, love you, man. Brunson averages 30 a game in the playoffs. His numbers go up. They have wings, lots of them. Two of them that are elite. One's going to be an all-star, an OG Anunoby. Hart is also a wing. Now, create your own shot. I understand what you're saying, but they don't want to play ISO. They don't want to play that way. They really want to play in the flow. They want slashers, cutters, guys that can run, finish on the break, rebound. That's versatile. I can make the corner three. I can crash and get offensive boards. I can lead the break, which is what Hart does, Bridges does. Anunoby's one of the best corner three shooters in the league. Like, that's what you're looking for. Clarkson isn't really a wing, but it's sort of, he's more of like a small wing. He's a guy that creates his own and scores for himself. That's why they got him. Look, Yabusele has not worked out. And that's a big that they need to figure out. Like, is he here, or can we move him and get somebody else in here that's really fits the way we want to play? That's an area that I think they're going to focus on more than what Gil's talking about. I don't think you want to add someone else to this group that needs to get his shots. And they don't really want to play ISO anymore. They don't want to do it that way.
And listen, I know he was reaching for an example. Yeah. Hall of Famers are not available.
Well, that's the thing. If I wanted him
right?
to say Kawhi Leonard, then I'd say, well, you're not getting him.
You're not getting. You're certainly not getting anybody to the level of Bernard King either. I mean,
Bernard King's a great example, right?
It's a good example, but also an example of something that's really hard to get. Listen, they're in really good shape. Things need to be improved for sure, but I just didn't like it. I'm glad you corrected him on the points aren't going to be there in the postseason for Brunson. They have been. All right,
his numbers go up.
Just embrace the madness, people. He's a great player. He's a star. All right,
and
not
he's
saying
a
they
killer.
don't need a little help, but he's the man.
But he's a killer, man. Please go back if you can and watch the last minute of the game. With about 40 seconds ago, he misses that three. It's a good look, just misses it. Then he turns it over. I'm telling you, watch it back. It's 40 seconds of your life. But when you see the look in his eye, when he comes out of that huddle, and he's just looking right at Nembhard like I'm about to tack your hide up on the wall.
And then do it.
Oh, and then cold-blooded, man.
Yeah, stone cold killer is what he is, what he needs. He's big in the postseason. What are the Knicks always looking for? A point guard, a guy that could take the last shot. How many great players have we had in recent vintage, but not necessarily the guy that you had that much confidence in to take that last shot?
Mm-hmm.
So embrace it, man. I know that sometimes certain teams feel like they can't have nice things. The Knicks have a nice thing. Is it enough to win a championship? We'll see. But you have better than a nice thing.
And he's a great dude.
in Jalen Brunson.
And he's a really good, he's a great guy too.
So
it's,
he
how do
gets
you not
it,
like
and
him?
he's local. It's really it's the perfect storm. 1-800-919-3776. 6 more of your calls. We'll pivot to football at 4 o'clock. Fraud Alert Friday at 4:30. We're going to move our picks to 5:30.
Yep.
Because Alan's got to run for his Knick coverage. We want to be able to give him time to give his picks. Hopefully we hear from Peter. Maybe this is the week that for the first time ever in the history of the station, somebody's going to tap out.
I got a thumbs up from him when I said picks at 5:30.
But you know what? The thumbs up is not a pick.
No, it's an acknowledgement.
Unless you want to use it to pick your nose.
Wow.
And if you're
thumbs
using
up
your thumb,
these days,
then you got bigger problems.
After Josh Hart, thumbs up now, it means something completely different to me.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. So we might get goosed at 5:30. We're not really sure. It's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg take you up until 6:30. Then it's Knicks and the Sixers on ESPN New York.
22nd ranked St. John's goes for their 4th win in a row when they take on Kentucky. Coverage begins tomorrow at 12:10 on the ESPN New York app.
Whether you're shopping, gaming, or streaming this holiday season, don't take slow for an answer. Get Optimum Fiber for the fastest, most reliable, and most consistent internet speeds, starting at $25 a month. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com to switch. Act now and get Netflix, a 5-year price lock, and $100 back, all on us. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today. Optimum, don't take slow for an answer. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Boxing is back at Madison Square Garden on Saturday, January 31st for the Ring 6. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Power meets precision on boxing's biggest stage. This is one fight you won't want to miss. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com and watch every round live exclusively on DAZN.
Clinton Yates here, and the holidays are upon us, full of gatherings, toasts, and plenty of cheer. And if you're like me, you want every moment to shine. That's why I head to Total Wine & More, where you'll find it all at the lowest prices, from rich whiskeys and smooth tequilas to festive liqueurs and elegant champagnes. And if you're not sure what to grab, their guides will help you find bottles that impress. You'll always find what you love and love what you find only at Total Wine & More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21.
This one's for the flavor fanatics. Sour apple 5-hour energy shots don't mess around. They bring the bite. Tart, tangy, and packed with tasty caffeine, this little 2-ounce bottle punches above its weight. With zero sugar and as much caffeine as your favorite 12-ounce coffee, it's the kind of pick-me-up that keep your taste buds happy without the crash. And it doesn't stop at sour apple. There are 17 bold flavors waiting for you to discover. Pick one up in store or stock up online at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon today.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
The NBA is happening Christmas Day. 5 games, 1 unforgettable lineup.
That's what Christmas is all about.
Buckets for breakfast, breakaways for dessert. It's the holiday tradition.
Christmas is our day.
With star power from across the globe.
The stars, they are going to be out.
The best gift, you don't even have to unwrap it.
We want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year!
NBA Christmas Day begins at noon Eastern on ABC and ESPN.
Brees Hall, the I-back, at the 5-yard line. Handoff, Brees Hall finds a crease, runs left. He's into the end zone for a Jet touchdown.
Jets fans, come out to MetLife Stadium for a Week 17 divisional matchup. See the New York Jets host the New England Patriots Sunday, December 28th at 1 p.m., presented by Ticketmaster. Lock in your seats now at nyjets.com/tickets. Once again, that's nyjets.com/tickets.
Knicks fans, it's time for basketball, and the action starts tonight at Goldie's Tavern with Team ESPN New York and Ultra. Whether you need a pregame spot or you're looking for the right Knicks bar to watch the game versus the 76ers, Goldie's Tavern is your destination. The party tips off at 6:30 p.m., and Team ESPN will be giving away ESPN, Ultra, and Knicks prizes. Join fellow Knicks fans tonight at 135 West 30th Street. Cheer on your Knicks, enjoy Ultra draft and bottle specials, and cool prizes all game long at Goldie's Tavern.
So we got the thumbs up from Peter that at 5:30 he'll have his picks. Now, does that mean, Anthony, that he'll be calling in with his picks or just texting them to you?
Oh, if you think I'm actually going to get more than that from him, you're sadly mistaken.
Well, all you got was an emoji.
You suck, Busick.
Thank you.
Now, he doesn't do his picks when he's here, so by reminding him 2 hours before that he needs to do picks, then maybe he'll use those 2 hours to make picks and not just decide at the last second.
I should add. I sent the spreads. I sent the spreads to him when I sent them to you guys earlier in the morning at 8:30. When the show started, and then when we decided when we were going to do picks, I texted him picks 5:30 today, and he gave me a thumbs up.
Okay. Well, good. Now you know. So we'll see. We shall see. Mm-hmm. Let's continue with the phone calls. Jeremy, he's in the truck. You're on ESPN New York. Hi, Jeremy.
Hey, yeah. How we doing, guys?
Good.
I listen all the time. This is for you, Alan.
What's up?
I know it's easy, but DJ McConnell, you compare Kolek to McConnell. Why is that, I wonder?
Well, what do you think? Backup point guard who handles the ball really well, really smart, tough, undersized, but very, uses IQ, uses the ability to pass, create shots for himself. tough. Like he's it's very similar. Two similar guys.
Yeah, but he could score a lot better than McConnell. I watched him at Marquette.
Yep.
I mean, if he got more time, he'd be averaging 15 points at least a game.
You think so?
And
well, we're going to find out.
Leader,
we're going to find out.
Chris Paul.
Well, McConnell. Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
Wow. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what.
What are you driving at, Jeremy?
From your lips to God's ears, if he could play like Chris Paul, I'd love to see it because I love the kid. Be great.
What's your angle, Jeremy? You're angling towards something here.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, let's leave the skin color out of the picture. We don't need to even go there. He's a floor general, like you said.
I didn't hear him.
That's
What did
it.
I say? Leave what out of the picture?
What
am I leaving out of the picture?
What?
Skin color. He's not just because he's white, it ain't T. McConnell.
Well, but you brought up white. Alan didn't. Wow. Mike Brown brought it up. Mike Brown used the comparison. So
I think it's a
black
fair one.
man used the comparison. A white man used the comparison.
I don't think it's
you
terrible.
were the one that brought up race. Alan just rattled off 10 reasons why they're in common, and their skin color was not one of the 10.
That's weird.
Jeremy, you brought it up. You made it an issue.
I didn't even think about it. To me, I'm just looking at they were playing on the same floor, and I'm like, McConnell's carved out a nice 10-year career. But Kolek is a second-round pick who early in this season there was a question of whether or not he'd even be on the roster this year.
Right.
And look at him work his ass off to become somebody that is very valuable, that Brunson trusts, and he actually is trying to emulate Brunson a lot in the style of play, which is really good. But I looked at McConnell last night, and I'm like, you know what? Kolek can have a career just like McConnell. And he could be a really – McConnell was a huge part of that team going to the finals last year.
So you just coincidentally compared him to another white man. But not having to stretch at all because you gave 10 examples why they're very close.
Yeah.
He made the stretch comparing him to a black man and Chris Paul.
I mean,
who
Chris
made the stretch? Who
Chris Paul was a lottery
Who
pick.
threw the Hail Mary? You or Jeremy?
I don't know. I'm pretty comfortable with my comparison here.
Hey, listen.
But you know what?
If
it offended
you didn't catch a fish. Not today.
If it offended you, Jeremy, that's a you problem.
I'm just saying. Just when we go over the transcript, the only person that brought it up was Jeremy. So that's on him. Spike in St. Pete, you're on ESPN New York.
What's up, Spike?
Merry
That's
Christmas.
The world we live. That's the world we live in, guys. Let it go. Let me tell you something. What I saw last night. I love Alan Hahn. Alan Hahn's my hero because he's me. Obviously, I'm a foot shorter than him, but he's me 40 years ago. You neglected to say one thing, and believe me, I'm not casting aspersions. Clyde yells out, "Hey, Brunson, what about the one you dribbled off your foot last play before?" You caught that, right?
Clyde's something else in those.
Yeah,
it really is. But he also is giving him kudos as well because he's saying you were clearly tired, and yet you still came up with a big shot.
Yeah, and then Brunson, I think they went from a pin down to a curl. They changed the play, and Mike Brown goes, "Hey, just go do your thing. Be you. Yeah, so this is the beauty of the game last night. And I'm very disappointed because I was wrong preseason. Now, I love what Mike Brown's doing, and I'm a Tibbs guy. I am a Tibbs guy, and sometimes you fall into the right thing. Maybe this is with you and Don getting his dream come true. I'm so happy for you kids. I really am. Bottom line, last night, my guy Yabusele gets on the court. He looks about 40 pounds overweight. The only one in the league he can sit on a seesaw with is Andre Drummond. But Drummond's at least getting 12 rebounds again. Don't touch this team. If the Knicks win the chip and beat Denver or OKC, don't touch this team. You don't want Giannis on the team. Leave it be. And Tyler Kolek is blessed. He referred to him as the Lord last night. Yeah. He says, thank God the Lord for Tyler Kolek. Tyler Kolek, my best friend said this to me this morning, he is so lucky to practice with Brunson. He does his layup like Brunson now, the open palm left hand. He could see the floor. He pulls back. His shot needs a little help. It's a little herky-jerky. The kid gets 5 assists, 5 steals. The Knicks had 31 assists last night, 31 dimes with 2 guys I had to look up. And by the way, last comment, and have a blessed Christmas. God keep me well and you guys and your families. I just want to see one more chip, and I think we're close. I think it's a tight circle for within 2 years. Tell me I'm right.
No. I've said this going into the season. I think this is the closest they've been in over 30 years.
No.
I think it's 50.
Well, it's
94. They were very close.
94, they were very close.
Very
90,
close.
Thank you for the calls. 99, not so much.
You too.
Thank you.
Yeah, 99 was a bit of a surprise, right?
Yeah,
Don?
with
that was
the
a
lockout and everything.
Yeah,
and they were what? I think they were an 8 seed.
They were a very good team, but they didn't come together until the playoffs started, and then they were just really good. Then they got banged up, but I don't even know at full health they could have beaten that Spurs team. To be honest, if I'm really being honest, that would have been really hard to do.
And that was a forever team and all that. But here's what they've done. I don't know. We want to talk championship or whatever. They have played to the point where they're at least worth seeing if, as presently constituted, they can go for it. I think they've played to that level. Now, that could change. A month from now, it might look different. But right now, going into play on December 19th, they have played worthy of keeping it intact and seeing what this team can do. And if they continue to play the way they're playing, even if they end up as the second seed to Detroit, you're going to want to see this thing. And then during the offseason, you could say, okay, we need a little extra here, a little extra there. But don't be surprised if we get to the offseason and the popular opinion, the consensus would be, don't get Giannis. You're starting to see it happen now.
Yeah.
If they play well, that might be the opinion when we get to the summer.
It's funny. That's you know what, Don? What a great problem to have.
Yeah, right?
Right? Like to do something that in June, that when you get to July and Giannis is like, okay, I'm ready, I want you to trade for me, and the Knicks are going, I'm all set.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to. We kind of like this team. We don't need to blow it up.
That would be
Wouldn't that
would
be
something? That would be
all
pretty
these
cool.
years of begging for a superstar and chasing a superstar, right? And all the superstars telling you no. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, right? And then now the superstar wants you, and you go, I'm good.
Yeah, and before we close, this is what Mervyn Queens is saying. You're on ESPN New York. You want to keep this team together, right?
Of course, man. Something weird happened to me, guys. I've been watching the Knicks less in a weird way because in my head I'm like, they're good. I'll tune in like every second or third game or for 10 minutes, and I'm like, finally, we don't have to make a move out of desperation. And what you guys are saying, that someone could want to come to us. Guys, I also, Tyler Kolek, first of all, Skip, happy holidays to you guys, man. You guys are fantastic.
Back
it's like having friends that you can't always talk to a friend. They're busy, this and that, but I could turn on the radio and listen to you guys, and you sound like my homeboys. But thank you. And Tyler Kolek, like the little engine that could, why not? His points feel like they count for more. It's good for the team, the crowd, and a feel good. And I want to ask you guys, like, what you think about, like, what you're saying, keeping the game together, but the team together, but there's always like a good guy that might, we can claim somebody gets waived, that DeMar DeRozan.
Oh, listen, you're always fine. Even the best teams fine-tune things. We're talking about the needle mover type move. Every championship team will pick somebody up at the deadline just to kind of fill. But we're talking about maybe not wanting Giannis, not having to make that big-time play. And Murph, thank you for the phone call. But no, they could still, even if you love the team, come the deadline, there might be still a move to make. But it'll be for depth. It'll be an ancillary maintenance move more so than a move that you feel you absolutely positively have to make to make a run. Very interesting game last night for so many different reasons. We'll dive into that. We'll get into the football. Fraud Alert Friday coming up at 4:30. Our picks now shifted to 5:30 to accommodate the schedule. For Allen, take up until 6:30. Then it's Knicks and the Sixers on ESPN New York.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hey, it's Michael Kay, talking to you about my friends at PC Richard & Son. They're local, family-owned, and I trust them, and you can too. Right now, save on all holiday gifts for everyone on your list. And with their holiday price guarantee, your price is protected. If the price goes lower from now through December 24th, they will match it. You can't beat it. Plus, you get fast and free delivery. PC Richard & Son, the company you could trust for over 116 years. Free delivery excludes Manhattan.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Target's last-minute deals are here, right on time to get you holiday ready in no time. Snap beauty gift sets for every style, the hottest toys, can't miss entertainment, crowd-pleasing candy, and much more. All under $20. Whether you're hosting or welcoming surprise guests, you'll be ready for all of it for less. Grab them now before they're gone. Last-minute deals under $20. Happening now, only at Target. Restrictions apply.
The post-crib assembly press conference, brought to you by Progressive.
Michael, you had some trouble putting the crib together today. What went wrong?
You know, those instructions can be tough, and, well, you saw the outcome.
Were you upset when your wife pulled you and called in the backup?
No, I mean, the baby needs a crib to sleep in, so whatever it takes.
You've got a changing table to put together next. It's got a lot of drawers. What's your comment?
You know what? We're done here.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hey, this is Mika Zibanejad.
Hey, this is Adam Fox. Catch every Rangers game right here on 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
401 of the big city, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg here on a Friday. Football Friday. We're going to get into the football, but I need to tell you, Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Because when it's game time, guys.
It's Tully time.
It's
Tully time.
Jacob on it as usual. The Knicks play host to the 76ers with coverage immediately following us on 880 at 6:30. Coverage of Oklahoma, Alabama, the college playoffs. You can hear that on 1050 with coverage at 7:30. We'll join the game in progress on 880 after the Knicks coverage. And on the ice, Islanders play host to the Canucks at 7. And I'm out here with the Devils. They're in Utah to take on the Mammoth at 9. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Great game last night. Seahawks win by a point. And if you were listening to my pick yesterday, I got my 3 because I play the stupid reindeer game where if I pick 3, it's got to be on Thursday. It's got to be 3.
Right.
But I told you I wanted to be wrong because I'm a Sam Darnold guy, and I for some reason I don't care for the Rams. I never did. It's weird.
Really?
The only time I ever rooted for the Rams, honestly, was the Super Bowl against the Steelers because it was Vince Ferragamo. They were the underdog. Goodness. But I'm stupid, man. The things that bother me. And you've gotten to know me, Alan. There's things that bother me. Like, why do you even think about that? Their uniforms are fine now, but didn't it always feel like the Rams' numbers were ironed on their jersey? It just never felt. They looked cheap.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I don't know. I just never. Then
the Rams to
Atlanta.
me, the St. Louis Rams. That's the Rams.
Really?
L.A.
Rams.
Rams
wouldn't think that.
Yeah, that to me was because that was the greatest show on turf because there was something special about that team. Late '90s, early 2000s Rams. Like that was like L.A. Rams always felt like a fake team, like a fake NFL team, like a create your own team.
Well, they don't get because they were in L.A. right? But then they played some time in Anaheim.
Yeah.
And that was on the old baseball field and all that. And then they go to St. Louis and they go back to L.A. And the general feeling like you can make the case that L.A. shouldn't have a team, yet they have 2. And now they've become good. But I do like Matthew Stafford's story. I'm just saying they don't appeal to me. Seahawks appeal to me, although they got – I didn't like those uniforms at all last night. You can't even see the logo on the helmet. I don't know how you felt about it. I didn't like them at all. When they go to the fluorescent green, that's cool. The old throwback ones to like the Jim Zorn Seahawks, those are cool too. I don't know what was going on last night, but they played great. Darnold was outplayed by Stafford was amazing. Threw for over 450 yards.
That no-look from Stafford was insane.
But they disappeared in the second half. Seattle comes back. Well, they down 30-14.
Right. They had a 1.5% chance to win the game, or at least probability to win the game.
Can we reset those probabilities? I mean, how many times? Geez, the Giants at least 3 times have been in that situation and still lost the game. But listen, I got the best of both worlds. I wanted Seattle to win the game, but I thought the Rams would cover. I got Seattle to win the game, and the Rams covered. All right, so normally the hook doesn't come into play in a 1-point game, but it certainly did last night. So I get my 3. But the Seahawks, I don't think the Seahawks are the best team in the conference, but they are the 1 seed right now. I still think the Rams are better. I think that'll be proven out when this whole thing comes down. But that was a nice effort by Seattle, nice effort by Sam Darnold. And I'm just curious, and I can ask you, because you are a Jet fan. How do you feel about Sam Darnold right now going into Week 16?
Yeah,
being being on the best team in the NFC. Going in, well, this will be going into Week 17, right? Because they played. This was Week 16. So how does it feel that we're going into the holiday, and Sam Darnold is the quarterback of the 1 seed in the NFC? Are you happy for him? Does it make you sick to your stomach, or
all of it?
The magic one, both.
All of it, man. Like it's because watching him last night. Look, because you and I, we all had that same feeling, right, in the group chat last night when they were down 30-14, and he was throwing picks. He was throwing to big fatties. Like he was, like there was that one moment. Didn't it look like he had the seeing ghosts moment? Right? Like there was the one pick where he had this dazed look on his eyes, and it was like, oh man. And it was what we were saying going into the game yesterday. Sam Darnold just can't win the big one. He's really good, but can he win the big one? And then he leads a comeback of epic proportions. I don't think the Seahawks have ever come back from that kind of deficit in the fourth quarter, right? Wasn't it a 0 and 100 and something? That showed you something that the 2-point conversion too, the Moxie. There was a lot there that really was impressive, and it was, for me, that's the part that was fun to watch. Like, look at you. Good on you, Sam. Like, look at it. Because, as Anthony will tell you, and I've told this story a million times, everybody drink, in that draft was one that I paid close attention to. I was doing the night show then, and I was just obsessed with those quarterbacks in that draft, and I watched them all. And I watched Sam for 2 years at USC, and it was one of those quarterbacks I thought the Jets are never getting a guy like this because he's going to go too high, which is why I was so focused on Josh Allen that year. But, man, like when the Jets got him, I felt like this guy's legit. Like he's a real quarterback. They got to coach him up, teach him, and develop him. And it was Adam Gase and Dowell Loggins was the offensive coordinator. Like he couldn't stay on the field for various reasons, and the last season was, I can't even put it on him. It was such a disaster. They had to make a decision on the 5th-year option, and the business decision was take another quarterback so you reset the clock, which was always something I hated, but you understood it. But now when you look back, you say, the Jets did not know what they had. And then they took a worse quarterback. That was like you talk about setting a franchise back. So, yeah, I'm happy for Sam, but then I'm sick to my stomach thinking that's how bad the Jets are. That's how poorly run they are. They had no idea what they had, and they let it walk out the door because they took a worse quarterback.
And of all the quarterbacks that they selected, all right, they got something out of Sanchez going to back-to-back championship games, although I don't think he was worth the 5th overall pick.
No, but then they failed him. Because they tried to open up the playbook. Everybody was saying free Sanchez and let him throw. And I'm telling you, Schottenheimer was like, okay.
Well, I will tell you that they failed him, but they got something. They got something out of him. The only quarterback that failed the Jets to me was Zach Wilson. He was not a good quarterback. I don't think anybody could fix him. That was a bad pick.
So was Christian Hackenberg. Second-round pick, yes, but he was bad.
That was bad, but at least that's a second-round pick, not
Yeah, but he was a second-round. Don, he's a second-round pick, and he didn't even play. He didn't play.
We're talking about Sanchez at trading up to 5 to get him. You know, taking Sam Darnold at 3, taking Zach Wilson at 2. I mean, these are colossal failures, but they failed the quarterbacks, not the other way around. And Darnold, and listen, it took time, right? Carolina screwed up worse than the Jets. They gave him the 5th-year option, didn't get anything out of him.
Right.
And then he goes to Minnesota, gets some education, takes that education to Seattle, and now he's a really good quarterback. I don't think you're winning a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold.
How do you know?
I'm sure the Jets would take a Sam Darnold more so than everything that they have right now.
Why would you say that?
Because I do think there is something to, does he have it to win the big game on a consistent basis? I still think that's still very much up for grabs. And this is coming from a Sam fan. I like him as a person. I like him as a quarterback. I think the Jets failed him. But and that was a great win last night. But, you know, can he do it on a consistent basis? We saw last year what happened in Minnesota. But maybe I'll be proven wrong, and I want to be proven wrong. But, you know, I still think, you know, Matthew Stafford, given a second opportunity, if that game were to ever be in Los Angeles as opposed to Seattle, could go a lot different. You know, but hey, if they can hold on to the 1 seed, that's going to be moot, right? That you're going to have to go to Seattle, a tough place to play, although they've only been average at home. But still, the jury's out on that. But they failed Sam like they failed pretty much every other quarterback. And the question is, forget those regimes. They're gone. Can this current regime, when they do get the quarterback, whether it's a veteran that's a project or trade or draft a quarterback, will they get it right where the other regimes failed? And the only evidence you have right now, Alan, quite frankly, is the quarterback play this year. You know, Justin Fields was a project, right? And he failed. Is that on Justin or is that on the Jets?
Both.
And so now the jury's out or leaning towards, I'm not sure if this regime could do anything with a quarterback either. I say it at time. People can drink here too. When we used to have Steve Young as a weekly on this time slot back in the Michael Kay Show days where he talked about the Jets are where quarterbacks go to die. They don't develop quarterbacks. They've got defensive-minded head coaches. They just don't know how to do it. Does this regime know how to do it? The evidence is no right now. But before you get crazy about bringing a quarterback in, guys, and that quarterback being the right guy for New York and the right guy for the system, ask yourself, are the Jets the right team for that quarterback? Because in most cases, the answer has been no.
And you have to consider Tanner Engstrand is a young offensive coordinator, like not a ton of experience there. You got him. He jumped 2 spots from leaving Detroit because no one else wanted the job. And there was some connection there, obviously, with Glenn, but also with the Ben Johnson offense that they really wanted to see if they could bring over. And then you have Justin Fields, who's a quarterback that really can't play that offense. That's not who he is. So that's what I worry about. So you want this. I cannot stand when coaches have this sense of, this is my system, you'll fit in it, versus your skill set, I'll build around that, which is what they did with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. That was the brilliance of what they did there, because Joe Flacco was obviously not going to play any style that's similar to Lamar Jackson. But once he got hurt and they had to go to Lamar, they had a whole playbook just for Lamar. We're switching it. This is what we're doing. And the rest is history. The guy's multi-MVPs. So that's, to me, how you should have done things here, and not have Justin Fields come in and say, all right, we're going to have you run this Jared Goff offense. You can do it. He could not do it. He's not accurate enough. Everything about his background tells you this is not what you do. Well, to me, what you should have done was take the Ravens playbook and say, let's play this way. But they didn't. So that's why when you ask me, do they have the people in place to develop a quarterback? My answer is no.
No.
There's no evidence that tells me that they do. So to draft one, especially in a draft that's a weak draft, with players who, and we're going to talk about the college football playoff, there's a couple of quarterbacks that might decide to go into this draft if they have a good run, because they might get some top 10 guarantees, and that's where you want to go. That's where you want to go. That's where the money is and the guarantees. If you are a young quarterback that's going to need time and development, the Jets are not the place for you to go.
Well, and I was thinking about this too with Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
About how Carson Palmer was in his ear about Cincinnati. And I thought about it. I'm like, you know, it's all, the history does matter in a sense. Like, why should this current regime suffer the slings and arrows of the past, right? They've only been here a year.
It's fair.
But there is a history of just how the perception is of the quarterback position and how long it's been. And also having the former quarterbacks hanging around to be in the ear of the new guy, right? Like, Eli is talking to Jackson Dart, right? He's around the facility. I can't think of anybody better to prepare Jackson Dart for being a franchise quarterback with the Giants than having Eli Manning hanging around, swinging by the practice facility, texting with me, talking with me, right?
Yeah.
A Phil Simms even. I don't know if Phil does, but I'm sure if the Giants called and said, Phil, can you swing by, and talk to Jackson Dart, I'm sure he would, right? Well, who do the Jets have, right? Joe, and we know Joe Willie has been somebody that's tried to help, but damn, that was
a long time
50
ago.
years ago, man.
It was a different game.
It's a long time. I mean, Vinny Testaverde, he had his moments here.
Vinny, Chad Pennington, those are guys you'd need to have around.
But
Chad, they had Chad around in the past. They've had Chad around, but years ago, he's doing his own thing now. But you're right. There is. That's the problem. There's nothing to fall back on as far as, for support. But, to be honest with you, was Brett Favre there for Aaron Rodgers? He didn't need Brett Favre.
I don't.
He needed Mike McCarthy.
I don't know. I know the reputation is that he did, but just you don't think that Aaron Rodgers just being in the room with Brett Favre didn't help him?
Yeah, I guess you're
seeing how he prepared, watching him during games.
Yeah.
What was the Any Given Sunday moment, right? Where at the end of that game, the old veteran backup quarterback comes in and plays, and Jamie Foxx goes to the coach. He's like, man, I learned more in that second half watching him play than my entire career. I know it's a movie, but it's that same thing. Sometimes just watching, even if that guy isn't specifically trying to help you. And it just success breeds success, right?
Just
you walk
watching
into a winning organization, and there's just a vibe, whether it's the banners hanging up on the roof or just the general vibe of this is where quarterbacks play well, and this is a place where quarterbacks don't do anything. Even in years which they won, they did it in spite of their quarterback, or like Sanchez, kind of game manage. Don't make a mistake. It's been a long time since the Jets were good because of their quarterback.
You need one to start it. The same as the Saints. The Saints have had decent quarterback history, but they didn't have any success.
Right.
But once you get Peyton and Drew Brees, all of a sudden everybody figures it out.
It's funny
they had nobody to lean on. It's just you got to get a really good coach who has a talented player, and put those two together and let it grow. But the Jets just can never seem to get one or the other, or both at the same time.
You just brought up something so interesting, because the NFC version, or one of the NFC versions of the Jets, the Saints.
Yep.
The Aints. We grew up with the Saints being
a joke,
more of a loser organization than the Jets were.
Yep.
Because at least we saw the Jets go to a conference final in '82, right? So
you remember? I'm sorry, Don, but just for those who aren't old enough, Ken O'Brien, Al Toon, and Wesley Walker, they were deadly.
Right.
Ken O'Brien was put up 500-yard games, 400-yard games. That wasn't never an issue then. And then they tried it with Boomer. They tried to find. Then they got Vinny, and then they had great success because they had a coach and a quarterback, and that's why they were good then.
Well, that's what you needed. But back in the early '80s, watching the Jets when we were kids, they weren't that far removed from 1968, so it didn't feel like that bad.
Right.
But the Saints always stunk, and you look at the quarterbacks, and Archie Manning was a good quarterback, but it was a lousy team. Never could find any coaches. They tried Ken Stabler. Remember him at the end of his career, playing for the Saints. Bear, they had decent.
Yeah.
And then it came together when they get Drew Brees.
Yeah.
And they get Sean Payton.
Right.
And they win a Super Bowl. You know. The New England Patriots, they get Bill Parcells, they get Drew Bledsoe, they're playing in a Super Bowl. They get Belichick and Brady, they win a bunch of Super Bowls. The Jets have been chasing the two areas that you have to fill, the two boxes you have to check if you have any chance to win. Where's the coach? Where's the quarterback? And that's been the issue.
Name me the team that won anything without one or the other. It's very rare, and the only ones that did had not a good defense, a generational defense.
Yeah. You go to Brad Johnson and Trent Dilfer, the two quarterbacks you think of that won Super Bowls that weren't great. All right, that's 20, 25 years ago,
right?
With historically great defenses.
Historically
and,
great.
And Brian Billick, who I think is a very underrated coach, and Tony Dungy, we know how good a coach he was.
Mm-hmm.
or I guess no, yeah, it was Dungy, right? Because I'm trying to remember Gruden, Dungy, who came first, but you know what I'm saying.
Gruden won the one.
Gruden won with
he won the one
players.
with Brad Johnson because
Brad
Dungy
Johnson
was out
against the Raiders.
Right. Yes.
But the Jets haven't been able to find either of those two.
Yeah.
1-800-919-3776. Lewis is in New Jersey. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Lewis?
Hello, fellas.
Lewis.
Last night, you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
All right. Last night, I was watching the Knicks. I was feeling good about myself. It was a beautiful game. Although I do agree with Gil, if we got maybe a Michael Jordan type, maybe Air Bud. I heard he's coming out of retirement.
That would be nice. I think they'd make room for him.
You don't know. He'd be great at the three. So I flipped over to the Nets game, and I guess, I thought maybe they'd beat the Heat, but I guess they're going to be rebuilding till my grandchildren are dead. So then I flipped over to Thursday Night Football because I was remembering what Don said, that he hates the Rams. And so I went in the game, and I was like, you know what? I'm rooting for Seattle because I'm going to hate the Rams too. And I flip it on, and at first I think I'm watching the wrong game. Maybe it's an XFL game. I don't know what I just put on because Seattle is wearing uniforms that look like they were designed by a kindergarten class that wrote the letters and numbers in glue and had them roll and sparkles for some reason. And so now, unfortunately, my own, weirdness, I have to root for the team in the regular jersey against the team in the alternate jerseys because it just makes me ill. And the Rams, chocolate soft serve in their pants. The stat, I believe, was 0-142.
Yep.
The Seahawks were when down by 14. And then the most improbable two-point conversion I've ever seen.
We
where
haven't even talked about
on
that,
the field.
Yes.
No one on the field knew it was 2 points.
They just picked
the guy that
ball
down the
up.
ball was just grabbing the ball.
It's hilarious. Don, the most improbable thing. You know what, Lewis? Thank you for the call. We're getting feedback. But I'm glad he brought it up because we never really got into it. Just 60 seconds here, Don.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Like that's a critical 2-point play. He throws off somebody's back. It falls to the ground. Play is dead. Everybody stops, and just because it could have been anyone, just because he picked the ball up and then took 2 steps into the end zone. If he picked the ball up and walked the other way, what is it?
Yeah.
Hands it to the ref. Like what is it then? It's unreal. A moment like that. Could you imagine if that happened in a playoff game?
But you're still talking about it happening in a game where the 1 seed's up for grabs. It's not nothing.
Isn't it weird? They don't blow a whistle. They don't every sport has an end of play moment, right? Baseball, you call time. If you don't call time, the ball's still live, right?
Yeah.
Basketball, we know there's a whistle, there's a buzzer, there's something. Hockey, same thing. When do you have a play that ends, but yet the ball's live and no one knows it? Not even the officials knew it. That's crazy.
That's the thing about football, and I know that like the baseball people will tell you that other than the pitch clock, that's the beauty of baseball is the game's never over because it doesn't have a clock. Right. But even football with a clock, we still see things we never see and comebacks that are improbable. The one thing that they got right in a lot of these sports, the 60 feet 6 inches and the 90 feet for the bases, like it's just when you see the throw to first base, how they just get the guy in time, you're like, boy, that's the perfect distance, right? Football, they got the scores right. 3 for a kick, 6 for a touchdown with the
numbers, right? The math.
They figured the math works.
Yeah.
And the 2-point conversion is one of the great revolutions of the 21st century too.
Yep,
I can't believe people fought it as long as they did. For a younger generation of fans, they don't realize that we were talking about a 2-point conversion for decades, and nobody wanted to do it. It's college. You would never do that in the pros.
Mm-hmm.
God, what would life be without the 2-point conversion?
Yeah. You have a chance. It's 2-score games now all of a sudden, right?
Down 16 is only still only down 2 scores.
Right.
Where in the past the game would be over. It's pretty unbelievable. What also is unbelievable is how much people have loved Fraud Alert Friday. I thought it would get old. It's only gaining strength. So this will be an Anthony Pusick-led vehicle. Get your emails ready. Get your calls ready. It's Friday. It's Fraud Alert Friday. And it's all happening here on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg on ESPN New York.
And you know what else is happening? Every aspect of your business, from the most mundane to the most complex. will operate orders of magnitude better and faster when you add artificial intelligence. AI, literally a race to the top, everyone. The companies that engage AI first will win. So, will that be you or will it be your competitors? Thrive Managed AI is your advantage over all your competitors. It was founded by tech powerhouses, so Thrive partners with you on smart and secure AI strategies for your business. Then they deploy it and manage it for you. Imagine AI solutions working across every part of your business, automating support, powering chatbots, analyzing competitors, even managing billings, collections, and orders. That's just a taste of what Thrive Managed AI can help you achieve. It makes your talented team even better by letting them focus on what they do best. The race to the top will be won by those who engage Thrive Managed AI first. That, of course, needs to be you. Go to thrivenextgen.com/ESPN and get started with a complimentary strategy consultation. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN, thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
Round 1 of the college football playoff. Let's go! Tomorrow, Oklahoma hosts Alabama. Then on Saturday, it's Miami at Texas A&M. Followed by Tulane at Ole Miss. And finally, James Madison at Oregon.
Round 1 coverage on 1050, 880, and the ESPN New York app.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Listen up, football fans. Why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2025. Last chance! Donate now for a 2025 tax deduction.
Boxing is back at Madison Square Garden on Saturday, January 31st for the Ring 6. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Power meets precision on boxing's biggest stage. This is one fight you won't want to miss. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com and watch every round live exclusively on DAZN.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks so much, guys. Weather really did a number out there on the roads, especially tough over in Jersey. 46 closed in both directions in Denville, over by West Main Street because of a downpour. 80 going to be your best alternate around that situation. 23 in Wayne, you've got no access at all to eastbound 46, all because of a transformer fire. Looks like we've got some flooding on 208 in Hawthorne. You're jammed there in both directions by Lincoln Avenue. Inbound Georgia in pretty good shape. Upper deck might run you about 5 minutes. Heavy ride heading over to the outbound side on all of your approaches. Cross Bronx westbound slam from the Bruckner on through. Outbound Lincoln will run you about 20 to 30. Outbound Helena, 45-minute wait. This report is sponsored by the Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Well, the PCA can help. It's a national nonprofit developing better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. More info at positivecoach.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Ox Spine at New York Presbyterian is always in pursuit of a better way to heal the spine. We're getting more people moving again with minimally invasive, non-surgical, and surgical treatments with innovative solutions for every back and spine condition and your unique needs. Expert spine care is available now across New York City and Westchester. Find a doctor at nyp.org/oxspine. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
The winter savings event is right now at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-30S for as low as $169 per month, or the 2025 Mazda CX-5. Select for as low as $229 per month and get as low as 0.9% APR financing rates on select model. Plus, enjoy 1 year complimentary of Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
Did you or someone you know participate in fraudulent fan behavior?
I'm a fraud with a capital F.
Is your friend a fraud?
I have been a complete and utter fraud.
Are you a fraud?
What is fraud?
Let's ask Don McGregor.
Screw! Go scratch yourself!
Fraud Alert Friday is driven by Ramsey Mazda, and leading the parade today still in the control room, as I'm sure the studio back in New York is completely dark again.
Not only is it dark,
there's Anthony Pusick.
We have construction going on in the studio too.
Nice.
It is.
Maybe it's everything, and it's about time. It only takes 2 weeks to fix a mic stand.
They're not tarped and covered. I don't know what's going on in there.
Alan and I were able to fix it during a commercial break.
Yeah,
Make me
what do
the
you mean?
engineer.
Jolio described it as one of those bars where you could go and break stuff.
Like a rage room?
Like a rage room.
Oh,
right now
yeah.
it looks like it's all tarped up. We can go in there and just break everything.
I love it.
I wouldn't recommend doing it, but here we are. Anyway.
Demo day is the best day, boys.
Thank you to everybody that participated in our live edition of Fraud Alert Friday last week at your mother's house.
Can't believe that was a week ago.
That was a week ago.
That's crazy.
Borelli's was a week ago.
Oh, I miss Borelli's already. When are we going back, boys?
I just missed out.
Well, yeah,
I'm
it's
so
on you.
happy it was just the three of us. That was like the perfect, the three people, the two people that I wanted to be with the most, Anthony Pusick and Alan Hahn.
Sorry, Jake.
A great restaurant. Well, Jake wasn't an option. He wasn't there. If Jake was there, like at your mother's house, he would have definitely been invited. I've broken bread with Jake. He's a good friend.
We had a call from the great Chris Majkowski in the studio. A lot's going on here.
Wow.
A lot's going on. I don't know. Probably, hey, where can I connect for Knicks?
Magic Man.
Okay.
Yes, I'm guessing.
Well, tell him it's Fraud Alert Friday. He's got to wait.
Too busy.
Jacob, tell Madge it's Fraud Alert Friday. All right, so.
And he knows. He listens.
Yeah, he understands. But to that point, we have a follow-up from last week's Fraud Alert Friday. You remember Joe from North Potomac talking about his wife that grew up, born and raised in Ohio, surrounded by Buckeye Nation and a diehard Ohio State fan, but went to the University of Maryland for her degree. Key details left out. And she points out, thank God my husband's not a lawyer. I enlisted into the United States Army right after high school, so I did not attend Ohio State. The Army ordered us to Maryland, and I am pursuing becoming a surgeon. So I attended the UMD to attend night classes after work for my bachelor's in neuroscience, overachiever, so that I can apply to medical school. I don't root for UMD sports, and I only attended the school for their neuroscience program given my circumstances. I did apply to Ohio State for medical school, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. Now that you know all those details, Don, am I a fraud for being an Ohio State fan but attending the University of Maryland?
No, well, that's not why you're a fraud. I just don't know why, if you didn't go to a school, you'd root for them. But since, hey, maybe you would have gone if everything was equal to Ohio State.
She's trying now. She's trying now.
That has served our country a fraud.
No.
So, no. And you know what? And was it her husband or boyfriend? Who was it again?
Husband.
Yeah, disbarred.
Disbarred.
Do not have him defend you, because he left out very key evidence that would have changed the verdict completely. So your husband's a fraud.
All right, hit the gavel.
And you know what? The rare bad guy fraud.
Bad guy fraud.
Bad guy fraud.
Kayla, thank you for your service.
This is what I'm going to say. I think she can do better.
And by the way, not even in our court. That would go to Army court. That would go to the military tribunal, I would imagine. But we will send it to the proper places and get this taken care of.
I have jurisdiction on all everywhere.
See, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that. We have a guy who says he's giving his second attempt at fraudulence, and I have to scroll for this one. So here we go. Hi guys, please help me confirm if my recent Don-led New Jersey Devils fandom is or is not fraudulent. I'm a 35-year-old man from Staten Island. I'm a diehard Mets fan. They're absolutely my number one team. I attend at least 6 to 7 games a year. The Giants are easily my number 2 team, but they're a distant second to the Mets. I'm a basketball fraud. So let's go to hockey. I'm not going to explain why he's a fraud for basketball. That's not why we're here.
Okay.
For context, my family in New York are casual Ranger fans, while my family in New Jersey are big Devil fans. I didn't watch much hockey growing up, but I played all the time, both organized and in the street with friends, so I've always had a longing for it. For the last decade or so, I've made a concerted effort to pay more attention to the NHL as a whole. I started by listening to Don's Game Misconduct podcast. Hey! Which led to watching more on TV. I remember that podcast, and so on and so forth. I'm now proud to say that I've watched and followed the last 5 Stanley Cup playoffs / finals. I have been an active viewer of nationally broadcasted NHL games during the regular season as well. However, I've done so without a team to call my own for this entire time. The Rangers have had some runs over the last decade, but I've never really got behind any of them. Neither did they. I just don't feel a real connection there. And despite my family in Jersey's connection to them, I never really felt a connection to the Devils either. However, that fateful day earlier this year when Don announced the big news that he'd become their new TV broadcaster. Let's just say ... it moved.
Ooh.
It felt like someone sexy was lifted.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Something.
I've listened
Does
to
he
TMKS.
have any other announcements he wants to make? It's Fraud Alert Friday. That's,
almost every weekday and day since 2015.
Friday.
I almost Ron Burgundy that. That would have been real good. It's
Plant
on
your flag.
every day in my house. I love all of you. But Don is myself and my whole family's favorite host. He even sent us a wondrous cameo a few years back. I am now going to become a New Jersey Devils fan. The question is, after 35 years of apathy and now my favorite host becoming the Devils TV announcer, am I a fraud?
See, that's movement, man.
I agree.
Hit it, Jacob. No, there's no fraud. And I'm not saying that because of the bias of him becoming a Devil fan because of me. He never declared.
Right.
He never declared fandom. He could have went with the Rangers because they were better and they were going to the Stanley Cup final. He could have chosen any team in the NHL. Those 5 Stanley Cup finals. He could be a Florida Panther fan, right? I'm going to root for the Panthers. They've been in 3 straight Stanley Cup finals and won 2 in a row. But you know what? We found weirder reasons why somebody becomes a fan of a team. And he decided to become a fan of the Devils. As long as he sticks with it, no fraud. No fraud at all.
Okay.
This is a nice Fraud Alert Friday. We haven't found... Well, we had the husband that's a fraud, but...
yeah, you also said she could do better, which, wow.
And should be, and if she knows what she's doing, soon to be single.
A lot going on there. All right, let's hear from Jeff. I initially went to college at East Carolina University, then transferred to FDU Teaneck. I guess Fairleigh Dickinson Teaneck?
I would hope
That's
so.
That's right.
Where we had no football team. Nothing to root for at FDU Teaneck, and ECU had some so-so seasons and players, i.e. Jeff Blake. Good for him. A boss of mine was an Alabama grad and always got me to pull for Bama, and my son ended up being a huge fan and attending Alabama for school. Am I a fraud for touting Alabama and wearing Bama gear? P.S. My daughter attends Maryland, and I'm not pulling for them at all. Sorry, Peter. Roll Tide.
See, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, see, I was going to make a verdict, and then that last sentence came out.
Yeah, that blew it up.
Because I was going to be like, well, listen, he obviously, had an attachment to Alabama because of his son, but his daughter, Maryland gets left out?
Maryland gets left out.
Oh, never mind that. Don, his money goes to Maryland.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing? You better be rooting for that. Like, you should be all in. You should be a Terrapins fan, true and true. All your money is going there.
Well, here's the thing. Here's why he's a fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't attend Alabama. Just his buddy was a Bama fan. I was going to remove fraud when I found out, well, his son went there, all right?
Mm-hmm.
But then that gets disqualified because his daughter went to Maryland and is not rooting for any of their teams. So he does not get credit for his son going to Alabama. So it's like that didn't happen. Right. He's just a yo-yo that didn't go to Alabama that's rooting for Alabama fraud.
Because of a boss.
Selective fraudulence.
And if you want to blame anybody, blame Anthony because he read the last sentence. If he didn't read the last sentence.
Oh, if he left that out.
Hey, listen. I can't. What am I going to withhold?
He typed it. No, you're not supposed to withhold information.
I can't withhold evidence.
Because then what happens is
you
might have a mistrial.
Yeah. So we do have our first fraud email of the day. Let's do one more from CJ, and then I believe we have a call on the line as well.
Oh.
According to the evidence, I am a fraud. Okay? I don't know why we're here.
Yeah.
I am Casey, and I am from New York, and I'm a huge Michigan State fan, even though I didn't go there. My father and brother played football for them. Okay.
All right.
I did not have the pleasure, as I went to school at Campbell University on a wrestling scholarship.
Well,
I am
okay.
a fighting camel. Yes, that's our mascot.
Campbell Camels.
Camels are dangerous. I think camels are very dangerous. But we are a small Division I school. Am I a fraud for rooting for Michigan State?
Well, no, not if you had family go to Michigan State.
And played football.
Blood in the ground,
father
Donnie.
and the brother played football. They'd call you a fraud if you didn't root for them.
Right.
And the great Carl Banks went to Michigan State. So
Another good reason.
All right, Jacob. Hey, I know you're on the phone. You're talking to Madge about connections. We have an afternoon drive show.
We do have a drive show going on.
6:30 is going to come at 6:30. Right now it's 2:41, okay? We've got a drive show going. I can't lose people on the drive show because you've got yo-yo connections to make. Not my problem. All right, now from now on, unless it's a caller, don't answer the phone.
Actually,
it was a call. I thought it was a Friday call. That's why.
It was Juan and White Plains talking about the Yankees. That's not going to happen right now. We
Anybody
will.
Wants to call unless let me see if what Jacob's doing. Jacob's doing the board. All right, he's doing fine and he's doing the board. Now I forgot what I was going to say. You got me so angry.
Oh no!
Hit it. No fraud because he had family go to Michigan State and played football. So no fraud.
All right,
let's get to the call. Let's get to the caller before
I love
St. John's engineer calls.
That's right. Billy in the truck. What do you got?
Hey guys, appreciate you taking the call. Before I get into my question real quick, though, you guys didn't like those Seahawks uniforms last night? I thought those were sick.
I didn't hate them.
Really?
I didn't hate
disgusting.
I thought they were interesting.
They were shiny in all the wrong places. I couldn't even see the logo on the helmet. It was
I don't know if
awful.
I loved them, but I didn't hate them like Don Vitriol hate.
Hate.
Definitely eye catching. Definitely eye catching though.
Well, so's vomit.
Onto the fraud. So since I was about 4,
I didn't.
I left.
You guys got me?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry.
I said vomit's also eye catching, but nobody caught it.
Okay. Since I was about 4, me and my dad have been trying to go to every football stadium. Now, when we go to these games, we always root for the home team. So I'm rooting for the Cowboys, Commies, Bills, Patriots. The only time we didn't do that was when we went to go see the Eagles in 2022 when they played the Giants in that Week 18. There, we just kind of sat silent because we didn't want to be too out loud rooting for the Giants there.
So, what team do you root for?
The Giants. Okay. Yeah,
you're a Giant fan and you rooted for the Cowboys?
Well,
just because you happen to be there?
They didn't play the Giants that week.
Oh,
they played the Commies.
No.
You know what?
Boy.
Thank you for the phone call. I mean,
wow.
if you really thought I was going to say anything other than fraud,
I feel so
but you don't understand the concept.
Yeah.
If you did not have a football team, But you're a Giant fan consciously going to Dallas and rooting for the Cowboys under the pretense, well, they weren't playing the Giants. It's the Cowboys.
I mean,
and the Eagles, you sat there silent when your team was playing?
I got to be honest. Like, is that might be
the most fraudulent?
That's like throw away the book, right? This might be lifetime fraud.
Well, listen, fraud is fraud, but there's got to be like gold medal fraud, bronze fraud, crystal fraud, something like that.
I think they'd take you away.
Yeah.
And if they did that, it would probably be in a Mazda.
Nice. Oh,
I guess you're telling me this
Where would you
segment's
get
over?
that
Is that what you're saying? Well, Fraud Alert Friday is driven by Ramsey Mazda. It's the experience of driving a new Mazda and buying a new Mazda from Ramsey Mazda. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. I will finish my sentence when we come back, as I was rudely interrupted. And because we'll continue the conversation. We'll reset at 5.
You suck, music.
Picks at 5:30 today because Alan's got a scoot to do the Knicks and the Sixers. So we'll make our picks at 5:30. And Anthony Pusick led ENN at 6. Are there any other engineers that are going to be broadcasting games that want to call and take up Jacob's time? I can't give you the backdoor number. You probably know it already. So Paul Strager out there, Chris Majkowski, whoever.
I'm going to tell
Gary Jeffries
Tyler Murray.
wants to call.
Let Tyler Murray call and just make sure
it's only the
right.
afternoon drive show.
No,
what could they possibly be doing?
They don't do this in the morning show. I know that.
No. Don Hahn and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
22nd ranked St. John's goes for their 4th win in a row when they take on Kentucky. Coverage begins tomorrow at 12:10 on the ESPN New York app.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
ZipRecruiter. Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets. So go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
We are proud to serve our country, to serve our local communities, to wear the uniform, to be a soldier, to serve abroad when and where duty calls. We are ready to stand with our brothers and sisters to defend, to serve, to fight. We're always ready, we're always there. We are the New York Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New York Army National Guard.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowes.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
In the city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports, ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
Hi, it's Chuck Devine in Snow Country. Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select steel tools. Shop online or in store. We've had an incredible run in December, got so many trails open thanks to all the snowmaking and the fresh snow too. Bit of a rough wet day weather-wise for Friday with some strong winds in the mountains too. Then temperatures turn sharply colder. Groomers get out there with their power tillers, churn up that snow to make it smooth and loose, and we'll be back to snowmaking from the weekend right through the Christmas holiday. That means ski areas should have as much terrain as they have now, and they may add to it before Christmas too. Freshly sharpened ski edges are a good idea, especially for Saturday, as ski surfaces will be hard and fast. Snow surfaces improve with each passing day as we work our way toward Christmas with ski areas on the majority of their well-covered snowmaking trails. Get the latest at snowcountry.com.
You don't just ski or ride, you dominate. At Killington, we fuel your adventure. Be the beast. Ski and ride Killington.
Yeah, a little Doors, a little Jim Morrison. How about that?
I like it.
I've sang this song many times publicly, as fans of the show know.
Yeah.
1-800-919-3776. Get back to the busy phones with the fraud. We continue to do that. And then we'll pivot at 5 o'clock with a big 5 o'clock hour on a Friday. Phil in Florida, what do you got, man?
Yeah, it's Bill in Florida.
Hey,
okay, Bill, I'm sorry.
No problem. No
Come on,
problem.
Don, get it right.
Okay, here's,
all right, listen.
here's my situation. I went to Indiana, and I was there for undergrad and for law school. And so for basketball, Bobby and I was the coach, and I was there for 2 national championships in basketball. And, of course, the football team was horrible under Lee Corso. My kids then ended up going to Penn State. And so I had this rule in my house, as far as me, it was a personal rule, that when it came to basketball, I rooted for Indiana. And when it came to football, I would always root for Penn State in terms of when they played each other in each sport.
Okay.
Well,
now what?
It was never a problem except for this year, because all of a sudden, Indiana is playing at Penn State. And, of course, Penn State now is horrible, and Indiana is ranked number 1. So am I a fraud? Because when Indiana played Penn State, I basically said to my kids, sorry, now this time with what's at stake, I have to root for Indiana.
I love this.
Yeah,
I love
you're
this,
a fraud.
Don. Oh, come on.
No, he's a fraud because
He
he's
went
a
to
fraud.
Indiana, though.
But he went to Indiana. But if Indiana had a better football team, he would have rooted for Indiana football. The Indiana football wasn't very good, as he said under Lee Corso. His kids go to Penn State. Penn State is routinely competing.
Not only his kids went to Penn State, his money went to Penn State.
His money went to Penn State, but he said, but that's not why he said it. Because he could have rooted for Indiana football and decided, I'm going to root for Penn State too. But he only rooted for Penn State in football. He didn't say anything about rooting for Penn State basketball. Money's going to the same place, right? He was motivated by how they're doing. And so the second that Penn State falls off, they fire their coach, they're out of it, and Indiana's competing for a national championship, he pivots. And that pivot is a fraud. I'm sorry.
Well, I tried. I can see why.
But listen, you know I'm right. You know I'm right.
I'm not denying it. I can't confirm or deny. How about that?
Naz in Pine Brook. It's like right off of Route 80. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, man?
So, I'm the resident Chiefs fan of the show.
Yes,
and after the debacle of this season, I sang my Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, coming forward to carry Mahomes. And then I declared to my husband, since I've kicked your ass twice in the Super Bowl, I'm going to fall behind the Niners, only if Don says I'm a supportive wife and not a fraud.
Oh, Don.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, if your team is eliminated and you want to have somebody else to root for, and it's obviously somebody that your husband's rooting for, there's no I know they've played against each other in a Super Bowl, but there's no rivalry between the Chiefs and the Niners. Maybe when they took Joe Montana away, but nothing really.
No.
I see
Can I
no
chime
fraud.
in on this?
Go ahead.
You make the final call. I am not saying anything. I'm not trying to change the call.
Okay.
You got to do me a favor though.
Okay.
You can support your husband's team, but I don't think you should be like high-fiving, jumping up and down, celebrating anything. Like if they go on a run, you almost got to do it like just appreciate the moment, not get into it like it's your team. Then to me that feels very fraudulent.
Yeah, no, I can see that. That's how he supported me, except when we were, going against each other.
Right.
But yeah. Okay, I'll take it. I'm in.
How come it's happy wife, happy life, happy wife?
Happy wife, happy life.
Right. Which yeah. But did nothing with the husband.
Because nothing rhymes.
I get nothing nothing rhymes, but it's like, it doesn't matter. It's not attached to any kind of happiness or whatever. Why can't she high five him? It's her. They share a life together. He's happy. Can't you high five in the spirit of I'm happy that my husband's so happy, and that I can high five him?
No.
Okay. Well, listen. When you get your own segment, and when I move on from this company, and it's Fraud Alert Friday led by Alan Hahn, then you can judge. I'm the judge, and that was a nice little respite. That was a nice little conversation that you had. It means nothing.
I said I wasn't changing. I wasn't changing the verdict.
I know, but still,
I thought we'd have a little recess, a little conversation. That's all.
I took it under advisement and then completely ignored it. And decided to do what I was going to do anyway. All right, 1-800-919-RESET. Knicks with a big win. Unfortunately, another week in which the Giants or Jets are not playing in any big games at all. The Jets, for sure.
Is it bad if I watch Burrow against the Dolphins? I hate the Dolphins, and I want to speak Burrow into existence. Am I wrong if I am a Bengals fan for a day?
As opposed to being a Cleveland fan, because I know that your Jet, you tapped out a while ago. These games haven't meant anything.
Bills, Browns. Again, I don't want the Bills to win. I hate the Bills. So,
but we'll reset it all. We've got Fraud Alert Friday in the rearview mirror. So next up is going to be our picks, which are going to be at 5:30 instead of 5:45. So note that 6 o'clock ENN, and we're out of Dodge at 6:30 to hand it off to our Nick and Sixer coverage right here on ESPN New York.
The holidays are here, and Amazon Pickup is your MVP of package pickup. Need that perfect gift like a brand new jersey for the big game? With Amazon Pickup, you can grab your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule at no extra cost. It's fast, it's easy, and it keeps your holiday surprises tucked safely away. So whether you're running from work or heading to the holiday party, Amazon Pickup makes holiday shopping worry-free. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks so much, guys. We're going to start off in Jersey. Problems are building on 208 in Hawthorne. Not only do we have flooding in both directions by Lincoln Avenue, southbound side now shut down with a transformer fire by Utter Avenue. Stop there from Grandview Avenue in Wyckoff. Inbound George, stick with the lower deck if you can. Upper level, about a 15 to 20-minute ride. All of your approaches the outbound side pretty heavy. Best of it right now, southbound Deegan and Henry Hudson. West Side Highway northbound, a stop and go ride from the 79th Street Boat Basin. Outbound Lincoln, your best bet at 30 to 40. Outbound Hahn now going to run you close to an hour. Slow crawl on the Whitestone Expressway northbound, heading toward the Bronx-bound Whitestone Bridge. Crash out there, your jam from Northern Boulevard. This report is sponsored by the New York City Department of Transportation. Speeding ruins lives. Drivers, watch out for pedestrians and cyclists and slow your turns to less than 5 miles an hour. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
New York Lottery's holiday scratch-off games are the perfect gift for everyone on your list.
Like me, your Aunt Jules. I told you I didn't need a gift this year, but I secretly really want one.
Or me, your neighbor Frank. I hope you didn't forget I'm coming to your holiday party tonight.
Or me. Why does no one ever think of the voiceover guy? Anyway, New York Lottery's holiday scratch-off games have more winners and top prizes up to $5,000. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
When equipment breaks down and operations come to a halt, every single second counts. So why is your maintenance team spending 60% of their time doing anything but turning wrenches? MaintainX is the AI-powered maintenance and asset management system that helps your team get back to actually fixing breakdowns. No more searching for manuals. No more hunting down parts. No more drowning in paperwork. With MaintainX, your team can access manuals from anywhere, create new procedures in minutes, and turn voice notes into clear and complete work order feedback. What used to take hours now only takes minutes. Keep your operations moving, not your paperwork. Join over 11,000 maintenance teams that are already fixing more and filing less. Try MaintainX for free today. Go to maintainx.com/AI. That's maintain and the letter x.com/AI.
Getting more as a My Lowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Fellas, it's the season to shine, and not just from the holiday lights. Manscaped is here to keep you looking sharp for every holiday party, family photo, and mistletoe moment. The Lawnmower 5, groin and body trimmer, and the Chairman Plus face shaver deliver precision, comfort, and control worthy of Santa's nice list. I've been good and nice. Whether you're tidying up before a big night out or preparing for New Year's Eve, Manscaped has your back. And your face too, to be exact. So gift yourself with some grooming greatness this season, because looking good is the best gift of all. And now you can find Manscaped products at your local Walmart.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, 5:01 in the big city.
Damn right.
Getting you ready for Week 16 of the NFL, and it shows how simpatico Alan and I are. I was just getting my tie on, getting ready for the game.
Yep.
And I was thinking, what are we going to do at 5? You know, Alan and I are not in the same state. I'm in Utah right now.
Not even in the same time zone.
For the Devils and the Mammoth, and Alan's at the Garden, getting ready for Knicks and Sixers. And I said, you know what? I think I want to talk about the fact that, isn't it crazy week after week, day after day here? Fridays are always very sacrosanct in the sense that you talked football and you talked your Jets and Giants, and so, even in years that wasn't great, there'd be some angle, something to talk about with the two local teams. And we didn't even mention the Giants 2 hours into a Friday show. The only thing we talked about the Jets was in relation to the game last night because Sam Darnold played in it. That how sad is it that it's December 19th and we're doing a show in New York and there is really no local football to talk about. And nobody cares about Giants, Vikings. Nobody cares about Jets and Saints. And then I find out when I sit back down that you were saying the same thing to Anthony during the break. Like how sad that is.
Yeah, literally saying it's amazing we've gone this far on a Football Friday and we have yet to mention Jets, Saints, and Giants, Vikings. And then as I said that, I'm like, who the hell wants to talk about Jets, Saints, and Giants, Vikings?
But to be
like, what are we going to say? Like, it's the same week after week. Jackson Dart, can he show you something? Make sure he doesn't get hurt, blah, blah, blah. Like, the coaches have to prove themselves. The only thing I will say that I think out of either one of these games that is important, quotes, air quotes, important, because Aaron Glenn just fired his defensive coordinator. The Jets had 2 awful defensive performances. Now, it's the Saints, right? It's Tyler Shuck. Like, we're not talking about – they're not going up against, the greatest show on turf. But still, you're on the road, a team that's playing a lot better of late in the Saints. Can your defense now show effort and make tackles and just give me something where I'm like, all right, Aaron Glenn got control of this team. The defense played better because they got rid of the DC that no one seemed to like.
Right.
I'm curious. Can the Jets hold a team under 20? Can they do I'm looking for baby steps at this point. Win?
Yeah,
forget. I'm not even thinking about wins. Show me something. How about get an interception? Maybe get your first pick of the season. Can that happen against a rookie quarterback? That'd be nice.
Yeah, but that's nice in theory, but I don't think anybody is going to judge the decision to let go of Wilkes on this game against the Saints.
No, but it
is what it is. But
it doesn't hurt.
But Dart
yeah.
is something, right?
All right.
Everybody seems to be sold, us included, that this kid's got a shot to be the next great quarterback of the New York Giants.
I agree.
And yet, I'm not stupid. I see how much better it puts the Giants in to lose out, get the first overall pick, even if they're not going to trade Dart for that little reindeer game we played with Cincinnati and Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
They need talent. They need picks. Having the first overall pick is better than having the second overall pick or third overall pick. I get that. But you want your franchise quarterback or the guy you think could be the franchise quarterback to play well. So you explain a world to me where you're rooting for Jackson Dart to play well, but at the same time you're rooting for the Giants to lose. That's a weird headspace to be in. Plus, and Anthony pointed this out to me.
All right.
Because I'm not watching Hard Knocks on a bet because the Giants are awful. I don't need to be reminded of that, and I have no interest in hearing from Sirianni and what's going on in Dallas and all that stuff. But he pointed out to me, and I saw it elsewhere, of how Dart's taking these losses tough, man. I mean, he wants to win. He's sickened by the way they played against the Commanders and lost that game. He's sick by the pick that he threw that iced the game for Washington. So how do we live in a world where this is our franchise quarterback and we want him to learn how to win, we want him to play well, but then the team to lose? I would rather lose out on the first overall pick to see my quarterback grow and learn and gain confidence and win some games here and get this stink off of him. Because when you're the quarterback of a team, no matter how well you play, whether it's right or wrong, the results are attached to you. And he can go out there and throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns, but if the Giants lose the game and he throws the pick at the end of the game to solidify the win, as you're pumping your fist saying we're one step closer to the first overall pick, you might have done some emotional damage to your young quarterback who's going to get sick of losing and maybe have this stick to him. So, you know what? Having Jackson Dart be the next franchise quarterback to me is more important than the first pick. I want to see the Giants win. And the same with the Jets. So I get the value. I'm not dumb, but I just don't want Jackson Dart to be a loser. I don't want him to lose his confidence as the Giants strive to get the first overall pick in the draft. Am I wrong to think that?
No, you're not. Look, they've lost 8 in a row. Like you can understand, you need to see something successful. I agree with you when it comes to Dart. You can see him wear it. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, but that
a lot of quarterbacks that are like young quarterbacks in their first year or going through it like this, eventually it just starts to your head spinning, and you just reach a point where you're just trying to get through it, and the wins and losses don't even affect you because you're just trying to get through it. I think that's more damaging. I think it's better when I see the quarterback, it's killing him to lose. That tells me that he's got that kind of stuff about him, that the end result does matter. Even if we have no chance to win, it still pisses me off that we lost. That's what you want. I want him to have that because you want that to drive him going forward where wins and losses matter. He's a competitor. He's not somebody just trying to hang on and survive and I'll worry about winning next year. No. Once you start doing that, then you're going to get used to losing. Jackson Dart's someone that doesn't want to get used to losing.
I don't know if we can find it. Maybe we can find it for the next break.
Okay.
But you know the movie Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, of course.
And he's on the boat by the Niagara Falls. I forget the name of what it was called, and it's his big moment. He's on live TV, and that's when he learns that he's not going to be anchor, and he has the meltdown on TV.
Yep.
And he's going, "It erode. And that's what I feel like losing does to an organization. Just erodes everything because that's what they work for. There's not a quarterback that is saying planning to throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. There's not a defender that's planning and working all week to have 10 tackles. They're all working for one thing, and that is to eventually win the game. And when you keep losing, it just, even though they're going to blow it up, and I'm really starting to feel it's gaining traction that Shane's not coming back. Now, what they end up doing at the end of the day, and listen, another reason to root for them to lose for people is going to be, just let's get Shane out of here. I get that.
Right.
But and even though a new regime is coming in here, you just don't want the losing. It does erode. It becomes very, very diseased, the organization with it all. But
listen to this.
God, I'm so disgusted. This is
here's
supposed to be such a fun time of year, and it's not.
And here's all you need to know. This is everything that you need to know when it comes to New York football and why we have reached that point where we're all just so disgusted with coming up with things to talk about that have to do with games. If the Jets lose this game, that would be their 5th 12-loss season in the last 10 years.
So, wow.
That'd be tied with the Giants
for
the most in the NFL.
And some of those were in 16-game seasons.
Right, but like that's all you need to know. There's no that to me is the most telling stat about the condition of New York football is that the Jets will have 5 12-loss seasons if they lose this game in the last 10 years. And that's tied for the most. And the other team that has that same record is the other football team in New York.
When was
that's pathetic.
I'm just trying to think the last time in any other sport that both teams or all teams, when you think of the 3 in hockey, were all god-awful, like historically bad. Has there ever been a time where the Yankees and Mets were both historically bad? Because this is the equivalent of a 100-loss season in Major League Baseball. There's never been a time where
Mets
both
and Yankees were terrible in 1990.
But the Mets,
1990 they were bad.
The Mets weren't. I don't think the Mets were bad. I think they finished in second to the Pirates in 90, if I'm not mistaken. Then after 90.
Is it 91 then am I thinking of?
Maybe 91. Because I know that's
Dallas Green and Stump Merrill. There was
91, 92.
Somewhere in the early 90s, they were both god-awful.
Well, we could probably look it up.
Yeah, you can look it up.
Because
we never had it with the hockey teams. There was always one good one.
The reason I jumped, because I just 1990 to me, that was like the last chance. Then it started to fall apart after 1990.
Okay.
Where the Mets just weren't any good anymore. And then the Yankees, they were good by 93. So there might have been that 91, 92, those seasons where maybe they were both bad, but historically bad, Alan? I got to look up historically bad because I'm just punching it up here.
I'm on
do
it.
2 things at once. So what you look at the
you host,
Yankees,
I'll
look at the Mets.
Well, I'm looking at the whole league.
That's how it does on IMDb. So the Yankees. God, I hate IMDb when it comes to crap like this. I just want the damn standings for God's sakes.
I got it. I'm ahead of you. The Yankees that year were 71 and 91.
Okay.
God. And in the East Division, that put them 5th place. Believe it or not, there were 2 worse teams, Baltimore and Cleveland. The Mets.
Was what year?
This is 91. The Mets were 77 and 84, second to last place in the East.
Okay, but that's still not quite as bad. And then 92, the Mets were 72 and 90. With Jeff
That's pretty
Borg.
bad.
That's and the Yankees in 92 were 78 and 86.
There you go.
Buck's first year.
So that's the one you'll look at as
not. So first of all, we're going back to the early '90s.
Yeah, it's a long time.
More than half of our audience either wasn't alive, like our producer Anthony Pusick, or don't have any memory of that. And still, those records that we're mentioning, 10 games under 500, is not what the Jets and Giants are going to be.
No.
The Jets and the Jets have 3 wins. The Giants have 2. Right. So. The Giants, I think, will beat the Raiders. They're going to be a 3-win team again. They're going to have the exact same record they had last year. And the Jets are going to finish probably, even if they win another game, are still going to have a worse record than they had last year. They're going to be a 4-win team.
Oh, yeah.
That, to me, is the equivalent of 2 baseball teams losing 100 games.
You guys know that the Giants could have the worst run defense ever.
Yes.
Like,
that actually
ever.
is a real thing.
They have. They're currently
with that
giving up 5.6 yards per rush.
Yeah.
That's the worst in the last 75 years. You have to go back to the New York Yanks. No, not the baseball team. No. Apparently, allegedly, there was a football team called the New York Yanks.
Called the Yanks.
They gave up 5.63. They're not that far away.
No.
They could have the worst run defense that we've ever seen in football.
There was a time in football, even post-leather helmets. Like I said, we were at war, so we didn't care. Let's put the goalposts at the goal line.
Sure, run right into it.
Let's not even have any logos on our helmets.
We were still trying to purge the population.
Right, and what they also did was, what do you want to call it? I don't know. What's the baseball team called? We'll just call them that.
Oh, there was a lot of that going on.
A lot of that going on. In sports, period.
No, they were just, we were doing a lot of stealing nicknames.
Again, I'm telling you, I wish you were talking about a 30 for 30 with the Islander dynasty. There should be a 30 for 30, the era of sports where no one, even people in sports, didn't care. They actually didn't care. Uniform colors, logos, names.
Didn't even try.
The NFL, I got to give you the exact date. There was actually, I might have brought this up a few other times, there was actually a time in the NFL where they just awarded the champion with the best record in the regular season. Didn't even think to play playoffs.
No, playoffs didn't matter because that's when they valued a regular season. Well, why do we need playoffs? We just had a regular season.
Right, we just
champion is the team with the best record. That's the way it's supposed to be.
They play 10 games. It's like here's 10 games.
There you go.
Whoever finishes with the most wins will give you a trophy.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But why don't we have a playoff? No, because why? Because
that'll cost us too much money.
That would take an effort. And
by the way, it's getting cold in October. Nobody's going to come to these games. Let's just shut the league down.
That's right. We're shutting down. We
don't
got
have
the holidays
heat.
to get
ready.
We
don't have light. We don't have heat. We just want to go home. It's a long season.
Got tons of calls to get to. 1-800-919-3776. Anthony in Jersey City has a very interesting question. Anthony, go for it.
Hey guys. Hey, Don and Alan. How you doing?
Good.
What's up?
So, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I've heard in the past, Don, you've said that 8 years old is the threshold for when you must stake your fandom, right? Unless you're a fraud.
That's right.
That's correct.
And also, if I'm not mistaken, I think like last week or 2 weeks ago, the Twins had their 8th birthday. Happy birthday to the Twins.
December 5th,
but that puts Marco right at the age, and I know in the past he's had some fraudulent-like behavior, liking Aaron Judge, liking the Mets.
Right.
I was wondering if, now he's at that age, has he put his flag in the ground for one of the teams, Yankees or Mets, or how you feeling about that?
Well, the way I looked at it is, and I can understand people thinking this, that he would have to declare on his birthday. Well, that's tough to do when we're already in the hockey season, we're already in the football season, already in the basketball season, although he doesn't seem to be as into the NBA.
Damn.
But what are you going to do? All right?
You got to get him to watch Brunson once.
But listen, he's been to hockey games, baseball games.
I get it. All right, I got to get him a jersey. I'm on it.
But in the middle of this, so what happens now? He's turned 8 years old, and I'm not being sexist. Jalen's not interested in sports, so
fine.
This is just a Marco thing.
It's okay.
Is that all right? First up is going to be baseball. That's going to be the first new season with him as an 8-year-old. Mm-hmm. He is going to have to declare by opening day what team he's rooting for.
I thought he did.
Okay,
well,
fair
enough. Here's the thing.
Okay.
It did seem like he did when I sent that video out with him getting excited that Judge struck out and ended the game. But I have still seen some back and forth.
See, Alonso didn't resign. Now he's a little upset.
But I'm going to tell you.
He liked the polar bear.
But I'm going to tell you that the Mets didn't go to the playoffs. Yankees did, so there was a reason to root for the Yankees. But he was. Do you realize the guy that hurt him the most
was
Diaz?
Really? Oh,
Diaz bothered him
because of Timmy Trumpets.
No, I just think he liked Diaz, and I think when you're a young kid and that Philly series, remember when he was flexing his muscles, like that's something that resonates, with him. He liked Alonso too. He was mad because I was away, so I didn't get to tell him in real time, and he was mad that I didn't tell him. So that makes me think he'll be a Met fan because he's actually feeling the losses of guys.
Can you see it happening in school? Be a Met fan. Where like some guy comes up to him, some kid comes up to him, he goes, the Mets don't have Diaz anymore, and he's like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, he signed with the Dodgers. No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. Well, your dad does radio, and he doesn't know that. And now he's like, whoa, Dad, you didn't tell me this. I look bad now.
I gotta get into the habit because
you got to tell him.
One of the toughest things. Well, there's so many tough things when you lose your dad. The thing I miss the most is that whenever something happened in sports, he's the first person that I would reach out to. As a matter of fact, after he died, there would be times I'd reach for the phone, realizing that he was gone. I can't call him. I want to get to that. I got to get to that point with Marco, right? That the first thing I got to do, Diaz signed with the Dodgers, call him. Now it's a little. He doesn't have a phone, and he's in school,
you can't text him.
Like get to that point
but
where
that's the thing. When
that's
you see
the connection. That's going to be cool.
First, when you my thing. I used to do this with Zach all the time. That when he was a little kid, and he was so into hockey, and he also was a Mets fan, and anytime there was something that would happen, the minute he woke up, I'd always tell him, "Oh, did you hear about this?" It got him it woke him up, got him talking, he got him in a good mood. So we always do that stuff. Now he sends me. He likes to sarcastically send me breaking news because he knows I already know. So he'll always did you see this? And I'm like, okay.
Knowing that you saw it.
No, I had no idea that happened.
Yeah. I the one thing I do like is that when we have breakfast together, he'll be like, Dad, punch up greatest goals of 2023.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I'll just go to YouTube and he'll just watch them and have questions. So just to see all this, because we didn't have that when we were kids, right?
No.
It was just basically, Dad, who won last night?
We had Warner Wolf and a newspaper.
That's it. And you were lucky to get that. And so no, it's cool that he's able to catch up. So to answer the caller's question, he will have to declare first up will be baseball. Wow. And then by next football and then hockey season. But I think it's Devils. I mean, he's
better
met Jack Hughes and stuff. So he's that those are things that he's going to remember for the rest of his life.
Absolutely.
It's going to be cool. So
NJ Devil.
Yeah, that was a big deal too.
He's got all that going on. First name basis.
Nancy laughed at this. We had to arrange to get the mascot to come to them on his birthday, which is not a problem.
Okay.
But every time I'd make contact, they would say, "We'll check NJ's schedule." They refer to him as NJ.
Like it's a real person.
Right. Like they don't say the actual person's name in the
by the way,
or the mascot, or we'll get the Devils mascot over. No, we'll get NJ over there.
Donnie, I've been meaning to bring this up to you since I saw it, and I can't believe I waited. But that just sparked something in me that it's I wanted to tell Don about this because I figured you might blow a gasket, and I hate to do it late in the segment, but what the hell? It's a Friday. Did you see when Seattle scored the 2-point conversion to win in overtime?
Mm.
Did you see the dopey bird run into the celebration? The players are gathered together, and the dopey Seahawk, he's in the middle. He's trying to get in with the guys. He's patting them. If you were on that team, you're get the hell out of here. What are you doing? Why are you making this about you? Go run by fans, dance in front of fans. Why are you trying to jump in the huddle of the players?
But you see it happen, especially in college. It's ridiculous. But it is. Or you'll see him collapse if the field goal's missed or something. I'm telling you.
It's so dumb.
Being around – I haven't been around a ton of teams because we don't have a ton of mascots. The Knicks don't have a mascot. Rangers don't have a mascot.
Yeah.
But the Devils have NJ Devil.
Yep.
I dealt with the Islanders with
Sparky.
Sparky.
Yeah.
They are player adjacent. I'm being serious. The way they get treated, their availability, the access that they have is almost at player level. I'm sure there's a line, but them going on the field or the ice to celebrate within the organization is not considered that crazy. It's crazy to me.
Don. When Anthony Beauvillier scored the overtime goal to force Game 7 against Tampa, Sparky didn't run onto the ice and join the crowd of players celebrating. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Well, it just might have been.
It's like all of a sudden this is
getting his skates on.
But there's all these players that are like, because that's a big win. That's a huge win. What a comeback, all that stuff. Players are all running onto the field to gather together, and then there's this guy in a bird suit trying to get.
I know, but I'm telling you, they are treated as celebrities. They are, and I just thought it was like every conversation in email and in personal. NJ, referred to as NJ, because
we'll
NJ
check
Devil.
his schedule.
Yeah. Like NJ's got a schedule. What section are they in again? So we can get NJ over there.
God!
They said we'll have NJ come and see the kids, take pictures.
Yeah, we'll escort him over. No touch. And then don't touch his pitchfork though.
And then after it's like, so NJ got there, right? Everything was good with NJ.
Everything good.
Everything was good with NJ.
Yeah. You want to leave? You want to leave a review? 5 stars.
I'm just telling you, we're to the point now that if they can't get Gritty's contract done in Philly, it might make the news cycle. It might. There's some mascots that I can't even imagine back in the day how the Philly Fanatic and the San Diego Chicken were treated when they were like the gold standard.
Yeah, well, the San Diego Chicken still never made sense to me, but it was very popular.
No,
don't know why, but it was.
There was a lot going on there.
I was more happier when Morgana showed up. That's a mascot. You want a mascot for sports?
Speaking
Morgana.
of running on the field.
Slow motion, please.
Or maybe bouncing might have been a better way to describe it. Our picks usually at 5:45, but we're going to have them at 5:30 today because Alan's got to leave early to do Knicks and the Sixers. So we got that. We're taking up until 6:30, and then it'll be Knicks and the Sixers right here on ESPN New York. But what I need to do, and I'm sorry, I did not do it when I should have because I was just so caught up in the mascot conversation. There's a lot of reasons why I forgot this read, but there's also a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. During the More to Move You event, lease a new 2025 CX-50 2.5S Select with all-wheel drive for $199 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SN385912. MSRP $32,795. Zero security deposit. Ends 1/2/26. The picks are next on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
Round 1 of the college football playoff. Let's go! Tomorrow, Oklahoma hosts Alabama. Then on Saturday, it's Miami at Texas A&M. Followed by Tulane at Ole Miss. And finally, James Madison at Oregon. Round 1 coverage on 1050, 880, and the ESPN New York app.
Knicks fans, it's time for basketball, and the action starts tonight at Goldie's Tavern with Team ESPN New York and Ultra. Whether you need a pregame spot or you're looking for the right Knicks bar to watch the game versus the 76ers, Goldie's Tavern is your destination. The party tips off at 6:30 p.m., and Team ESPN will be giving away ESPN, Ultra, and Knicks prizes. Join fellow Knicks fans tonight at 135 West 30th Street. Cheer on your Knicks, enjoy Ultra draft and bottle specials, and cool prizes all game long at Goldie's Tavern.
Brees Hall, the I-back, at the 5-yard line. Handoff, Brees Hall finds a crease, runs left. He's into the end zone for a Jet touchdown. Jets fans, come out to MetLife Stadium for a Week 17 divisional matchup. See the New York Jets host the New England Patriots Sunday, December 28th at 1 p.m. Presented by Ticketmaster. Lock in your seats now at nyjets.com/tickets. Once again, that's nyjets.com/tickets.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets, so go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Boxing is back at Madison Square Garden on Saturday, January 31st for the Ring 6. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Power meets precision on boxing's biggest stage. This is one fight you won't want to miss. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com and watch every round live exclusively on DAZN.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks, guys. Weather really did a number out there on the roads in Jersey. 46, a new issue in Little Ferry, shut down in both directions with a down traffic light over by Liberty Street. 80 going to be your best alternate around the area. Not moving at all on Route 3 westbound over by the Garden State Parkway in Clifton. Crash out there blocking the 2 left lanes. Add that to the volume. Delays go back to the Turnpike Western Spur. Inbound George Upper Deck, about a 5 to 10 minute ride. All of your approaches the outbound George pretty bad aside from the Henry Hudson. Cross Bronx westbound crawling from the Bruckner on through. Adding to the delays, an accident in the right lane over by White Plains Road. Outbound Lincoln, your best bet at 45 minutes. Outbound Helena cost you close to an hour. This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Visit MAD.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
The Winter Savings Event is right now at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-30S for as low as $169 per month, or the 2025 Mazda CX-5. Select for as low as $229 per month and get as low as 0.9% APR financing rates on select model. Plus, enjoy 1 year complimentary of Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at Empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
What's the game called?
Football. These are the Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg Pro Picks.
That's football!
Very proud. Not only am I in first place, but at least now I'm not like the Seahawks back when they won a division at 7-9. What was that, in 2010? Something like that. I'm actually above 500, including my win last night, Alan. I am 24-22, so I'm 2 games above 500 with 48 points. I'm in first place.
I'm in first
Alan's
place.
in second.
I'm in first place.
He is 19-26 with a game in hand, 37 points. So he's right now 11 points back with a game in hand. And then Peter Rosenberg, who as of this second still has not chimed in with his picks, is 14-31. He's got 28 points, so he's 9 points out of not having to dress like a clown. But
I am 11 points back of you?
You're 11 points back of me. But again, I got a 3-point play last night. So we came into the week with you only being 8 points behind, but now I got my 3.
It's slipping away, Donnie. It's slipping away.
It is slipping away.
I got to start taking chances.
16, 17, 18. So you got 3 weeks left in the regular season.
Yeah.
Wild card round, divisional round, championship round, Super Bowl.
No, it's
so
doable.
There's still 7 weeks.
Oh no, we're not giving up. We You know, we had
Peter
a team
might have
meeting.
given up.
You know, we know we're probably going to have to start, going for it on 4th down a couple of times. We're going to take some shots. We understand we got to be a little more aggressive than we've been lately, but we do see an opportunity. There is a window there for us to make a comeback, and it starts this week.
We will see. Now, because I just do my due diligence and didn't even think, I made 3 picks, and then I realized I don't have to make 3 picks. I won last night, so I had to eliminate one of them.
I don't know. Anthony, by the way, can you remind me? I haven't heard yet. Did Don win last night?
Don absolutely covered last night.
Yeah, I haven't heard that yet today.
3-point play.
Oh, boy.
So I'm going to start with my 1-point play. I like the Patriots to bounce back on the road in Baltimore. Ravens are a mess, and the Ravens are favored by 3.
3.
Listen, I know the Patriots lost. They showed a lot of good things, especially offensively, in that game. Plus, Baltimore 1-5 against the spread this season when they take on a team with a winning record. So I am going to gladly take those 3 points and take the Patriots as my 1-point play. And my 2-point play, because Alan, I don't know if you realized, I won with my 3-point play last night.
Dear Lord.
The Lions are home against the Steelers, and the Steelers have really shown something. Since they booed Tomlin and chanted for him to be fired, they're now taking a stranglehold on the division.
Yep.
But we know how good Detroit is after a loss. But against the spread after a loss, now they're favored by 7, so it's a hefty number, but they are home. They're 11-1 in their last 12 games after a loss against the spread. So I'm going to take the Detroit Lions, my 2-point play, favored by 7. So the Patriots getting 3 is my 1-point play, and the Lions favored by 7 will be my 2-2-2-point play.
1, 2, 3-point play.
Okay, you just made me have to make an adjustment.
Oh no!
We are.
Well, at least tell us what I want to know.
Well, I'm not changing my games. I'm changing my point strategy because I have to at least be able to benefit. Because you and I, we share a brain, Don. We share a brain. We are so simpatico.
We're on the show together.
We're so money we don't even know it. So my now 1-point play, because you're not taking it. And it's the only one of the 3 that I picked that you're not. We've picked the same games, basically, except for this one. Green Bay's going to miss Micah Parsons.
Oh, big time.
They have owned the division. They have owned the Bears. They have – it's their daddy. They have been their daddy. As Aaron Rodgers once said, I own you.
I'm your daddy, yeah.
But not anymore. This now is where the Bears, who are all it is 1.5.
So this is our time.
Yeah, this is. Ben Johnson's very smart. He can take advantage of a defense that is compromised because they're the one player on that team that has the highest percentage of pressures on the quarterback. So they have nobody else that can do it. So now, of course, for Caleb Williams, it's an opportunity. They also can run the ball very well, and so I think they'll take advantage. I think it's time, and that's where you're going to see. Ben Johnson used to joke about how he liked to beat LaFleur and then never could as a head coach, but this is now his opportunity to do such. So give me the Bears. I'll lay the 1.5 for my 1-point play on a Saturday night. My 2-point play now, upgraded, although I didn't want to trust it, but because you did it, I have to do it to get the extra point in case we both win, and that is I am with you. The Patriots, I will take the 3 points. Baltimore sucks at home. It's a Sunday night game. They suck on primetime games. Meanwhile, New England has been very good on primetime games as well. And the turnover factor for the Ravens has been a major problem, including Lamar Jackson, who is not the same. He's had interceptions in 3 straight weeks. They've had 10 turnovers in the last 5 weeks. So this is where Vrabel gets right after blowing a 21-0 lead. His team gets the win on the road. Give me that. And for my 3-point game, it is just like you as well. I believe in the Détroit Lions. It's Sunday. It's against Pittsburgh, but we know they are 15-0 after losses. They just don't go on losing streaks. They're very good at bouncing back, and this is an opportunity at home to bounce back again. I trust they will by a touchdown. So give me the Lions and give me one from way downtown, 3-point range.
All right, I like what you did there. Good strategy with the points, because if we're both right, you still gain ground.
2 extras, right.
2 extra points, which you're going to desperately need here. Now, this would usually be the spot in which Peter would make his picks.
Okay, what are his picks? Go.
Anthony Pusick, who does his due diligence as a terrific producer, reached out to Peter, I believe, over 2 hours ago to tell him that 5:30 we were going to be making our picks.
And?
It is right now approaching 5:39. And where do we stand with Peter's picks?
Eggs. We have eggs. Now, there's a couple ways we can go about this. I sent the spreads the same way I sent it to you guys at 8:30. I got no response. When I said we're doing the picks at 5:30, he gave me a thumbs up. I texted him when we were going to break saying it's up next. I received nothing. Should we cold call him?
No. Should we give him a time limit?
Or do
Tell you
we?
what,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
5:39 and 18 seconds. We give him to 5:40.
Well, no. Here's the thing. But there's multiple things we could do.
All right.
End of segment, end of show, or when this segment's over, we're done.
I think the the 2 things we should bat around, since we usually do it at 5:45, and then maybe even though he got your text, he's still kind of thinking I've got till 6 to send them. I say we give him till 6.
Okay.
If you want to be generous and say let's give him to the end of the show, that they have to be aired in the body of the show. They can't be sent via tweet after the show.
Correct.
I think we can all agree on that, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
That he has until I sign off at whatever that's going to be, 6:25, whatever. If we do not have Don LaGreca announcing or Anthony Pusick announcing his picks by then he goes 0-3. It's probably not going to matter anyway. He's been terrible. Or do we really want to be Mother Teresa here and say we just just take the top 3 favorites and say those are Peter's?
I got to tell you, though, Don.
I don't love that.
I got to tell you, this is not a new thing, though. You guys tend to go on vacation, whether it's this iteration of the show or another iteration of the show, during the holidays, and there are at least 1 or 2 weeks where I have to text you guys asking for your pick selections. And here we are.
Well, here's what I'll say, all right, in closing, I guess, on this, is that if we didn't hear back from him, all right, listen, you're on vacation. Sometimes time gets away from you. I get it. But he responded with a thumbs up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, to me, sorry, if he had not responded, all right, maybe he doesn't have coverage or he's in the middle of something, and I'm more than willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. All I can give him is either 6 or 6:25. My vote is end of show.
Or, and this could be fun.
What?
We just pick for him.
No,
because then he could win. He can go 3-0.
I'm not helping him. No chance.
And Allen's should be the only one to answer that, because I think Allen's the only one that could be affected by this.
That's true, too.
Oh, wow. Look at Don.
Well,
do you know that he won his 3-point play yesterday, Allen?
By the way, did Don? I don't know. Did Don win that 3-point
Well, because of getting the 3-point play last night. I mean, I've got to listen. I don't. It's not really. I got a 20-point lead on him, Allen.
Yeah.
The kid can't pick.
No.
So I'm sorry. I'm not one to hang on the rim, but I mean, do the math.
The kid
We're in the
can't
victory
pick.
formation as far as Peter catching me. All right. And now that he looks like he's basically
you're running out the clock.
40 minutes away from not even making picks this week.
Yeah.
But I think it's more than
you want to
generous
give him to the end
of the show.
All right. So EOS, end of show.
End of show.
That's what he's got to.
Should I tell him that he has till the end of the show?
No.
Oh, see, that's good. I don't think so.
No.
I'm not going to either.
If he doesn't do it, he doesn't do it. That's on him. Then he gets eggs across the board. And then he falls behind even more.
All right, Alan, I know you got a scoot for the Knicks and the Sixers.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Have a phenomenal weekend. And I know that traditionally this upcoming week everybody's gone. No. Alan and I will be on Monday.
Absolutely.
recap all the weekend of football and everything else that's going on. So, Alan, I'll talk to you on Monday. Have a great weekend.
You got it, brother. Safe travels.
Last call crew, 1-800-919-3776, because at 6 o'clock, it's Anthony Pusick-led ENN right here on ESPN New York.
Friends, it's football season, the best time of the year. You should be out there tailgating, cheering on your team, and enjoying every Sunday. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. You don't have to live like that. There's help. Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain is New Jersey's top pain specialist. He's Ivy League trained, double board certified, and is dedicated to helping you get back in the game. Here's what makes the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical image-guided procedures that deliver real results. Dr. Shaw treats neck pain, back pain, joint pain, migraines, nerve pain, and sciatica with a plan that's customized for you. Same-day and next-day appointments are available, and with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, relief is always close. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Visit SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Most major insurances are accepted. That's SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
22nd ranked St. John's goes for their 4th win in a row when they take on Kentucky. Coverage begins tomorrow at 12:10 on the ESPN New York app.
Hi, it's Chuck Devine with SnowCountry.com. Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. We've had an incredible run in December, got so many trails open thanks to all the snowmaking and the fresh snow, too. Bit of a rough wet day weather-wise for Friday with some strong winds in the mountains, too. Then temperatures turn sharply colder. Groomers get out there with their power tillers, churn up that snow to make it smooth and loose, and we'll be back to snowmaking from the weekend right through the Christmas holiday. That means ski areas should have as much terrain as they have now, and they may add to it before Christmas, too. Freshly sharpened ski edges are a good idea, especially for Saturday, as ski surfaces will be hard and fast. Snow surfaces improve with each passing day as we work our way toward Christmas with ski areas on the majority of their well-covered snowmaking trails.
You don't just ski or ride, you dominate. At Killington, we fuel your adventure. Be the beast. Ski and ride Killington.
Right now at Bay Ridge Honda, experience the wonder of holiday savings with the 12 days of deals during Happy Honda Days, like the Accord SE, only $299 per month, or the all-wheel drive HR-V LX for only $269 a month. The 12 days of deals on now during Happy Honda Days, plus receive thousands in benefits and savings with their Bay Ridge Plus Advantage plan. Upfront pricing, total peace of mind. Visit BayRidgeHonda.com. 39 months lease, 7,500 miles per year, 2026 down, plus tax, tag, and fees. See dealer for full details.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
Harry Douglas here, and the holidays are rolling in, and if men in your life are struggling with their holiday wish list, tell them to add Manscaped to make gift giving easy and completely stress-free this year. From the beard hedger to the lawnmower trimmer, Manscaped's precision tools keep you looking sharp, feeling confident, and ready for every event and celebration. Right now at Target, get 20% off on the Handyman Shaver, Beard Hedger, and the Chairman Plus Essentials Kit, a must-have for a smooth face shave. Hurry up though, offer ends December 27th.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. a Fanatics experience.
Some stages celebrate. This one tests everything. Every drive, every approach, every putt. Pressure builds, resilience matters, and history waits for the bold. In June, the 2026 U.S. Open Championship returns to the Hamptons at the iconic Shinnecock Hills Golf Club. Experience the world's best golfers competing on one of the sport's most storied stages. Don't just watch greatness, experience it live at the 126th U.S. Open. Daily tickets are available now on SeatGeek.
Hey everybody, it's the Don Show. It never ends.
Those are facts.
The Don Show, starring only Don.
Good for me.
It's the Don Show, starting now.
Tweet that.
Hey, Don.
Oh man, I wasn't expecting that. I got a big smile over that. I thought that was pretty cool. Haven't heard that in a while. Don Show, your calls up until ENN at 6, and then we'll hand it off to the Knicks and the Sixers over at the Garden. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go talk to Jay Scott in Daytona Beach. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Jay Scott?
Hey, boys. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Most excellent. You guys were speaking about the quarterback situation earlier. So Sam Darnold won a pretty big game last week. If Trevor Lawrence goes out and beats the Broncos, I'm just interested in what is the power rankings in y'all's quarterback list.
Wow,
with
that's a good
Sam
question.
Darnold, Trevor Lawrence doing their thing. And how bad of a rip does it feel that the Jets could have had both of those guys?
Well, I guess they could have had them if they didn't win against the Rams that year. So I'm not going to kill them for trying to win a football game. It wasn't like they passed on Lawrence or had Lawrence and got rid of him the way they did with Sam Darnold. It's been rough for Trevor Lawrence, okay? He's been an okay quarterback. He's been better than okay at times. Parlayed into a big contract. He's gone to the playoffs. He's got a really good team this year. What are they, 9-4? Beat the Broncos, which is going to be a tall ask, but now you're talking about being 10-4 and maybe winning the South and different situation. I mean, Trevor Lawrence right now, I'd say, is a better and more consistent quarterback than Sam Darnold's been, but I think they're very comparable. But the conversation we had earlier, Jay Scott, is if Trevor Lawrence was drafted by the Giants, would it have gone any different than Sam Darnold? Considering that he never lived up to the can't miss that he was coming out of the draft from Clemson. I got to figure they would have failed him the same way they failed Sam Darnold, the same way that they failed in a way Mark Sanchez. The only one I won't say they failed on as far as they're the reason why he didn't pan out was Wilson. I think Wilson was just a bad pick. But the other guys they have failed, I think they failed them by not being able to develop a quarterback. But I'm not going to get into the whole tanking situation. They should have lost to the Rams that year. I don't think it would have turned out any differently than it turned out with Sam Darnold. You screw up a quarterback, you screw up a quarterback. And certainly, Trevor Lawrence looks like a quarterback you can screw up because Jacksonville has done that because he hasn't lived up to expectations. Now, where has Griffin in Connecticut been? We haven't heard from you in a good week and a half. What's going on? Everything all right at home?
Yeah, I just been, I have like a little cold or something, so I've been coughing and really, I'm good. I just been listening to you guys. I just didn't feel like talking on the radio with
feel better.
The cold that I had, so.
All right.
But I'm good. I have a question, Don.
Yes.
With the college football playoffs starting tonight, is it okay? I'm an LSU fan, but right now LSU is not in it because of the Brian Kelly did not work out, and we all know that thing. If I root, but I'm not like going to cheer for them, be all excited for them, but hope that Indiana or Texas Tech win. Because they're not in the SEC. They've never won before. It would be nice to have new blood win. But if you don't think it's fine, then I won't do it. I'm just wondering what your opinion is.
No, of course you're allowed to root for other teams that are not rivals when your team's been eliminated. Right? You're a Saints fan, but I'm sure there's going to be some teams you'd rather see win the Super Bowl than others, right? You're going to root for some teams in the NFL, of course. My Giants are out of it, but I'd love to see the Seahawks win a Super Bowl for Sam Darnold. I'd love to see the Bills finally win their first Super Bowl. I don't think there's any wrong when your team's been eliminated that you decide that I'm going to go root for somebody else to get me through the postseason. Now, you start buying a jersey and start rooting for that team beyond the season, then now you're picking up another team. Now that's fraudulent, but come on. We all have to have some rooting interest. I mean, listen, I love sports. You know that. But if there's a game and I don't have a rooting interest, I mean, I'll watch it because it's fun to watch sports, but it's a lot more fun to watch when you've got a rooting interest, whether it's a bet on the game or you need it for your office pool, or there's a player you like, or there's a team that you've always had an affection for. You got to have a rooting interest. And for me, I look for storylines. I think Sam Darnold winning a Super Bowl would be unbelievable. I think the Bills finally getting off the schneid here would be great. The Lions, if they could get into the postseason, I'd be rooting for them too. But I'm not rooting for the Eagles in the postseason, I can tell you that. I got really, with their history, I got no love for the 49ers. But, with no dog in the fight, there's nothing wrong with creating a dog. Danny on Long Island, you're on ESPN New York. What's up, Danny?
Afternoon, Donald. I just want to wish you and your children and your wife a Merry Christmas. I'm not sure what your work schedule is next week.
I will be in Monday, but just in case you can't get through whatever, I appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you, too.
And you, too. And, quite a nice weekend of NFL football we have here. I enjoy the game more when my team's not playing, because watching my team, any team when I'm rooting for, it's like a root canal. Like that game last night without a dog in it was just a tremendous game. I got a question. I'm watching that game. I think they got screwed on that 2-point conversion, because if you watch the play, the side referee, which was the female referee, she hand signaled deflected pass, and they blew the whistle. So he didn't pick up the ball like it was a continuation of the play. He was picking up the ball and just handed it to the referee, and there wasn't a care in the world that there was anything illegal. And then when they came back from the commercial, the announcers were talking about it. And I'm thinking, are the people in New York also watching a live feed of the game where they could say, "Oh, listen to what they're saying. We didn't catch that"? Because if you blow the play dead, or the referee called it a deflected forward pass, why would I run after the ball? It's almost it's almost unfair.
Well, the play should be dead if the whistle is blown, period. That's the way it is in every sport. You follow hockey, right? I mean, if they inadvertently blow the whistle, even if the puck's loose, they're going to call the play dead because I'm going to stop playing. I was in the air at the time. I had to go back and review it. I don't really know what the complete explanation was. I don't know if, Anthony, they issued a statement on it after the fact, but I thought Alan earlier explained it pretty well. It's like, hey, it was considered a lateral. That's a live ball. But if the whistle blows, if I'm on the field and I hear they say play to the whistle, that's always what every coach tells you, play to the whistle. With the assumption is that when the whistle is blown, the play is dead.
They were all over it pretty quickly on Amazon. Rules expert, I think it was Terry McCauley. I forget who is their rules expert. He was kind of all over it. He explained that this is probably a live ball. This is going to be a 2-point conversion, and shortly after they announced it a 2-point conversion. Yeah, I was shocked. Everybody else seemed kind of surprised, but yeah.
So I guess there is nothing as inadvertent whistle. The fact that the whistle blows is irrelevant. It should be relevant, even if it's mistakenly blown. It doesn't matter to me because players are going to stop playing. You don't know how that play would have developed had the whistle not blown. Maybe the Rams would have been able to defend it better. Maybe they wouldn't have. But the fact is that my argument would be, I heard a whistle, I stopped playing. I certainly would have gotten a penalty if I hit somebody after a whistle and the whistle was blown the right way. You would still throw a flag, right? And the thing was, why did you hit him? You heard a whistle, you hit him. So I don't like that. I don't like that explanation at all. But that voice you just heard is Anthony Pusick. You're going to hear it again coming up because you know why? ENN. Next on Don Hahn and Rosenberg, ESPN New York. There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings during the More to Move You event. Lease a new Mazda 2025 CX-50 2.5S Select with all-wheel drive for $199 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SN385912. MSRP $32,795. Zero security deposit. Ends 1/2/26.
1 in every 6 men is likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime. That's why New York Presbyterian wants to remind men over 50 to book a prostate cancer screening. A simple blood test is all it takes. It could save your life. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester at locations near you. Schedule your annual prostate cancer screening today at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Hey, New York and New Jersey. Commitment issues? No problem. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month forever, as in for life. Switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, you may experience slower speeds. Pay $25 a month as long as you stay on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks a million, guys. I hope you have a great rest of the night and an awesome weekend. We've got the Islanders home over at the UBS Arena. Some heavy pockets of slowdowns on the Cross Island southbound, getting through Queens, approaching Hempstead Turnpike. Delays go back across the Throgs Neck Bridge onto the Bronx side. Knicks are home over at MSG. You might want to consider using mass transit. Definitely avoid the east side of town getting into Midtown. FDR just jammed in both directions, heading over to the 59th Street Bridge. All of your approaches to outbound George are solid aside from the Henry Hudson. Cross Bronx westbound will run you an hour from the Bruckner on through. Inbound George, stick with the lower deck if you can. Upper level about a 20 to 30 minute ride. Outbound Lincoln will run you 20 to 30. Outbound Holland 45 plus. Over in Jersey, Trans-Siberian Orchestra tonight over at the Rock in Newark. 280 just packed in both directions, heading over to 21 in the Stickle Drawbridge. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Boxing is back at Madison Square Garden on Saturday, January 31st for the Ring 6. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Power meets precision on boxing's biggest stage. This is one fight you won't want to miss. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com and watch every round live exclusively on DAZN.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on September 24th, 2016, when Tulsa found themselves down 31-0 to Fresno State. With 10 minutes left in the second quarter, Tulsa fought back to tie the game at 41. And then won 48-41 in double overtime.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for three.
And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. This is an ENN Special Report. Now reporting.
The very handsome Jewish man, Peter Rosenberg.
We should talk some sports.
Do what you want. It's ENN. 6:01 of the big city. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg until 6:30. Then it's the Knicks and the Sixers right here on 880 ESPN New York. So Peter's MIA because not only is he on vacation, we still have not gotten his picks yet, but we do have Anthony Pusick with some ENN.
That's correct, Don. No picks from Peter yet, but I do have the opportunity to say good evening to you, so I will. Good evening to Don.
See, that's movement, man.
Good evening to Don again.
It's only the afternoon drive show.
No,
what could they possibly be doing?
Apparently.
That does bother me.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what you do about it. I don't.
Well, we're operating out of the ones. You know how this goes.
Well, I have a say in the sense that I said it on the air, but as far as doing anything happening with it, no.
No, we don't. What can we do? What can we do? A couple baseball stories today, Don. You interested?
Yeah, you need something, man.
Well, yeah,
nothing.
It seems like what they've now chosen to do is do like one signing and or one trade a day. Today they had like three, so this is exciting.
Oh, okay.
Well, last night Michael King back to the Padres, 3 years, $75 million. Sources told Jeff Passan the deal allows King to opt out after the 2026 and 2027 seasons. I believe it was also reported the Yankees did not make an offer to King. I don't know about the Mets, but that's another guy that everybody thought middle of the rotation guy that the Yankees or Mets could have brought in to help their starting rotation? Nope. King back to the Padres.
Well, I'm not surprised the Yankees aren't in because I don't think they really need starting pitching. They will in the beginning of the year, but you're not going to add a guy at $25 million a year plus and then have extra guys when Rodon and Cole come back. So I don't think the Yankees were in. The Mets, now that's an interesting contract, right? $75 million, so that's easy math, $25 million a year, but he can opt out at the end of the first year and the second year. So I don't know if the Mets would have wanted to go there with the player having the option to leave right away.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Jeff Passan was on with Kay earlier, and he said that, the Mets probably aren't going to be on Tucker, but not to freak out. There's still plenty of guys, as we know. We talk about how cold this hot stove has been, that there's still plenty of guys for the Mets to improve their team. And with the Yankees, they're not in on big stuff, and Jeff says he doesn't expect them to be, so we'll see where it goes. It seems like it's Bellinger or bust for the Yankees right now.
That's the only way there's going to be multiple signings will be if they lose Bellinger.
Right.
Then they're going to have to replace him. But if they're going to bring Bellinger back, that's going to be your move, man. I mean, how much evidence, how many people need to report it to say they don't want to go over $300 million?
Right.
So whether you think they should, whether you think it's a moral imperative that they should, whether you think it's a joke they're not, isn't going to change the fact that they're not doing it.
Yeah.
So if you want movement, then you better.
Who doesn't?
Then you know what? It's going to come at the expense of Bellinger.
See, that's movement, man.
So if you keep Bellinger, that's going to be your big. That's going to be your big signing. Otherwise, it's going to come at the expense of Bellinger, and I don't think a Yankee fan wants to see that.
Well, the Yankee opponents in the AL East did make some moves today. The Baltimore Orioles acquired right-hander Shane Baz from the Rays for outfielder Slater DeBrun, catcher Caden Bodine, right-hander Michael Forett, outfielder Austin Overin, as well as we love this, Don, competitive balance round A pick. Sources tell ESPN.
It's always good.
And the Rays weren't done. They sent Brandon Lowe or Lau, depending on who you ask, to the Pirates in a 3-team deal with the Astros. The Rays will send Lau, left-hander Mason Montgomery, and outfielder Jake Magnum to Pittsburgh. The Pirates will deal right-handed pitcher Mike Burrows to Houston, and Tampa is acquiring 2 prospects from Houston, outfielder Jacob Melton and right-handed pitcher Anderson Brito. That is what we're calling the hot stove today in baseball.
Yeah, the hot stove is like just lighting a match, man. There's not getting any heat.
No movement is what you're saying. No
Now,
movement.
Listen, we got time. I mean, it's just we're not even. It's technically not even winter yet. That's not going to happen until Sunday. So maybe after the holidays, we'll start to see. Hey, listen, we have seen with a lot of Boris clients that these guys sometimes go into spring training unsigned.
Yeah.
The Soto, we got that quick, but
we did.
It's been, we've gone through the winter meetings and nothing. And as you said, it seems to be coming down very piecemeal and
I have seen people say that we must not pay attention outside of New York because other teams are making moves. We understand that people are being signed. What we're saying is the Kyle Tuckers and Bo Bichette's and yes, Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz left the Mets and signed with other teams. Yes. But you're still looking at 5 or 6 of the top 10 free agents that were left on the market that are still there. And yesterday on the hot stove, Jack Curry, I believe, said that it was Scott Boras is not getting the numbers that he's asking for when it comes to Bellinger. So we'll have to see with that. We know that Scott shoots for the moon, and he's shooting for the moon, man. Because
Scott, listen, Michael's a big fan of his.
You've given your thoughts.
They're friendlies. I think he's outlived his usefulness. I really do. I think there was a time that he had it over everybody. Yeah, he knew the analytics. And for people who don't remember the story, when Johnny Damon was a free agent, Michael was able to get a copy of it. Boris was able to send all of the teams that were interested in signing him, like literally a notebook, a binder full of stats on why you need to sign Johnny Damon.
Gotta love the binder.
Well, now all these general managers have 100 binders. And so he's not coming from an angle that they don't already know 10 times over.
Right.
So it's just a case of, do I want the player? And as you said, he asked for the moon and the stars, and these teams are working with a budget, and the ones that aren't have already signed their guys. There's only a handful of teams that are spending like drunken sailors. Others are working with a budget. Others are saying, I don't want to have too many guys on my contract if we end up having a work stoppage or having a salary cap in the near future. So Scott's got to pivot, man. I think he's just got to do a better job of being realistic. And 2 years ago, he had 4 players that were not signed when spring training started. You're not doing anybody any favors when that happens.
No.
Get these guys done. I mean, but if you sign Boris, you obviously want the moon and the stars too. But are you going to get it? And how long are you going to have to wait to get it?
We shall see. Now, we mentioned it last segment, the 2-point conversion that wasn't and then was. We'll hear from Sean McVay in a minute, but let's just paint the picture for everybody in case you didn't see it yet, and I don't know how you haven't. Don didn't see it live, but of course he knows what happened now. After the Seahawks scored a touchdown with 6:23 left in the fourth, they attempted a 2-pointer. Jared Verse tipped a Sam Darnold pass attempt that fell to the ground, apparently incomplete, and it was ruled that the conversion failed. However, as the Seahawks were lined up to kick off, replay review concluded Darnold had attempted a backwards pass, and that Seahawks running back Zach Charbonnet recovered the loose ball in the end zone, reversing the call, allowing the 2-point conversion, eventually getting the game to overtime, and eventually the Seahawks beating the Rams. Sean McVay was asked about that whole sequence.
I've never quite seen anything like what happened on the 2-point conversion where you're lined up to kick off. Then they say it's a fumble because they had the clear and obvious recovery. Now you tack it on, you make it a 30-30 game. Very interesting. Didn't get a clear explanation of everything that went on just because of some of the timing of it. They were trying to be able to do that, but that's the thing that I've said. I've never seen anything or never been a part of anything like that, and I've grown up around this game. I'm not making excuses. We don't do that. I don't believe in that. It doesn't move us forward, but we do want clarity and an understanding of the things that we can do to minimize that when we rejected the 2-point conversion.
There's different ways to say interesting. There's the way Michael says interesting, and then there's the way Sean McVay said interesting, both denoting that they're not very pleased.
But, again, I was in the air. I saw the replay, but I already had known what happened. But, Danny's talking about the whistle. So the whistle blew, I guess inadvertently. But is it inadvertently? It was incorrectly blown because obviously the official thought that it was a forward pass.
He didn't view it as a backwards pass.
Right. So, to me, it doesn't matter. Right? If the whistle blew. All right? They got it wrong. You can't allow possession when players stop playing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we had this with turnovers where there'd be a fumble, team would recover it, run it back for a touchdown. And then they'd say, well, listen, we found out that we had blown the whistle after you recovered it, and so we're taking the touchdown down. And back in the day, they'd take the turnover away too. And then they decided, you know what, the timing of it, we didn't blow the whistle until after he recovered it, so we're going to give you the ball, but we're going to give you the ball, you recovered it, and take the touchdown off the board. They were still acknowledging that the whistle ends the play. We got the call wrong,
right.
We blew the whistle after you recovered it. If we blow the whistle before you recover it, then we can make the case that the possession is going to stay with the other team. I don't understand how, when you have players stop playing, thinking the ball is incomplete, that you can now punish them for not continuing to play after the whistle when you're taught to play until the whistle. And like I said in the last segment, if a whistle blows and I decide to go level somebody, because you see all the time the whistle blows and yet the player is still running with the ball.
Yeah, it'd be a late hit or unnecessary roughness.
Yeah, you're going to say, well, why'd you flag me? He was running the ball. Well, didn't you hear the whistle? Well, I heard the whistle on that play in the Rams-Seahawks game, and it didn't matter. But I haven't heard anybody address the whistle.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Again, and people are giving a lot of credit to Charbonnet, and it's not that I'm not going to, but he was kind of just nonchalantly picking up a ball that was rolling into the end zone. It wasn't like he was the only one paying attention going, I see that this is a backwards pass. It was just fortunate that he grabbed the ball. If the Rams grabbed it and ran it all the way back down the field, it would have been 2 points in their favor. So
but
very, very
I'm
strange.
going by Danny. The whistle blew.
Mm-hmm.
You know that for a fact.
I believe so,
true?
yes. I believe it did, yes. I'd have to go back and see exactly when the whistle blew. I was more focused on the backwards pass part of it. I wasn't even focusing on the whistle, to be honest with you.
And I was on a flight, and it was weird. Like I was obviously flying from Newark to Salt Lake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but there was a couple of times mid-flight I would get a text. I'm like, how did I get that text? And then, of course, most of them, the phone's completely dead. I'm however many 1,000 feet in the air.
I guess in and out of whatever Wi-Fi service you were able to get, it allowed you to get those texts.
And then we landed, and all of a sudden the phone exploded. And the 30 text message I didn't get from our thread.
Two about Rangers hockey, and like 28 about the Thursday night football game and the Knicks.
And then there was a little back and forth between Michael and Peter I found humorous.
Michael and Peter, you say?
Yeah, maybe you weren't on that.
No.
I guess there was some. There was like an article a completely uneducated buffoon wrote. And
interesting.
I don't understand how people, when you get something that wrong, I mean, why are you upset when somebody.
It sounds like it's behind a paywall that I wouldn't be able to read.
No, listen, why would you?
Anyway.
Why would I read it if I threw it at you?
I would imagine you would think that Puka Nacua, who had a fantastic game, 12 catches, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, the most receiving yards by a Rams player since Isaac Bruce had 233 in 1997, according to ESPN research. After the week he had, and the apology he issued literally hours before the game, you think he'd lay low after this game, right?
No.
Well, you were wrong. Rams lose in overtime, of course, and Puka Nacua tweeted after the game, "Can you say I was wrong? Appreciate you, Stripes, for your contribution. LOL."
Well, he's going to get fined, and the Rams.
He was fined.
Going to get fined.
Yeah.
But what does it matter? What was he fined? Like $5,000 or something?
Well, I will give Sean McVay a lot of credit because I'm not going to say. Look, it was part of his media availability, so it's not like the media ambushed him, but they saw it, of course, and he didn't. Puka Nacua was fined, by the way, $25,000 for his comments about officiating.
Okay, good.
And I believe that was not even in reference to his tweet. It might have been in reference to his live stream comments.
Oh, boy.
Because when they said they would, I think Mike Garofalo said that it was when he was talking about them being lawyers. I believe Aiden Ross said that he was going to pay the fine for Nacua. Not really sure how that works. I guess they could figure that out on their own. But in real time, Sean McVay was asked about Puka Nacua tweeting about the refs postgame.
What are you talking about?
You just put something on Twitter a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, so what are you asking me right now?
Are you okay?
I can't answer questions about something that I'm not aware of.
Okay, but are you okay with players kind of expressing frustration over things like that? Or is that something that you hope that they kind of keep to themselves?
I got to have more information before I answer any of those kind of questions.
I give him credit. He doesn't know. So what was I going to say?
That sounded like he didn't know and he didn't want to. He wanted to plead ignorant. I think he really didn't know.
He's going. What do you got going on now? What did he? He's like, what did he do now?
You want my hot take?
Tell me.
I don't think he. Now, last night not included because that did seem like a bogus call.
Correct.
I don't think he even notices if the officials are against him or not. If he's that in tune with social media and Rams fans, he's hearing the Rams fans complain about the officiating, and he's just piggybacking, knowing he's going to get extra love for agreeing with them.
Well, Don,
I know how this whole thing works. I'm not an influencer by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But you've got a fan base that believes something. If you are someone that's a part of that team that jumps in on the conspiracy theories, they're going to love you even more.
Don, it's as good a time as any. We have 8
yeah.
minutes and 40 seconds until the Knicks. It is time for the NFL announcer lineup. And we start tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. The Philadelphia Eagles against Peter's Washington Commanders on Fox.
Not a good game.
5 p.m. Not a good game, but a good broadcast. Joe Davis on the call.
Oh, my gosh!
He'll be joined by Greg Olsen.
Chilling on the 7th floor. I gotta let these chickens know. Greg is in the house.
Yeah, and Pam Oliver.
Hey, now.
The night game also on Fox. It's a doubleheader.
This is a good game.
This is a good game, and you get the good crew for it. Green Bay Packers at the Bears of Chicago. 8:20. Kevin Burkhardt on the call.
Boston College.
He'll be joined by Tom Brady.
I have a lot of friends who outkick their coverage.
Aaron Andrews.
All right, old man. I can joke with you about that.
And Tom Rinaldi.
How spectacular and great is this?
We hope it will be, Tom. We hope it will be. We head to Sunday, the usual 1 o'clock. It is the Bucs and the Panthers. Big game for the NFC South. For a game of that magnitude, you get Chris Myers. Oh, I guess Chris?
Myers.
There you are, Chris. He'll be joined by Mark Schlereth.
I literally empty my bladder completely on the bench.
And Jen Hale.
You're such an effort guy.
That's on Fox at 1 p.m. CBS, 1 o'clock. Bills-Browns. It's not a barn burner, but you get a great crew for it. Ian Eagle on the call.
You were well bronxed in that photo.
J.J. Watt. And
the lobby is bustling. There is an energy here.
That was nice. I like that.
Thank you. We continue. Fox, 1 o'clock. Chargers, Cowboys. I guess still important for the Cowboys in the sense that they have a slim chance at the division. Adam Amin's on the call. This one.
Now stands erect.
He'll be joined by Drew Brees.
I can't stand to watch that offense.
And Christina Pink.
Oh, yeah, the swagger is back.
The game everybody will be watching. You know it. I know it. All these people know it. CBS, 1 o'clock. Jets Saints, Tom McCarthy on the call.
He was wide open.
He'll be joined by Ross Tucker.
They called that a hold?
And Tiffany Blackman.
Give me a vibe check.
We're going to call this the crew that has to call Giant games by default. Vikings, Giants, Fox at 1 o'clock. It's our good friend Kenny Albert.
Short man with a long stick.
Yeah.
We've talked about that stick in the past.
We have.
Dave makes that drop more than Kenny does.
He does.
Joined by Jonathan. And Megan O'Leary.
The Trophy Hall of Fame, sick.
I don't know what you want me to say. I'll turn it on. Sure. I hope Dart doesn't get hurt.
Yeah. Well, that's the key.
That's pretty much what I'm watching for. Please don't get hurt. CBS 1 o'clock. Chiefs Titans. It wasn't sexy before. It's certainly not sexy now. But you know you're going to get some excitement because Kevin Harlan is on the call.
That guy is headed to the slammer.
He'll be joined by Trent Green and Melanie Collins.
Tyreek, what happened this morning?
Well, Tyreek's Dolphins team will be on CBS at 1 o'clock taking on the Bengals in Miami. Spiro Didi's on the call.
That is Adetokumbo.
Fordham Zone. He'll be joined by Adam Archuleta.
Adam Golden Archuleta.
And Aditi Kinkwabala.
Trevor said he needed to be loose. Did he look loose to you?
All right. We finally have reached the 4 o'clocks, Don.
There it is.
It's Fox. It's 4:05. Falcons, Cardinals. Battle of the Birds. Jason Benetti on the call.
Jason Benetti is a great broadcaster.
All right.
And you could hear the music in the background. Clearly it was an NFL announcer lineup, and we had eggs. We had absolutely nothing for Jason Benetti, and that is all we have, which is a shame because he is a great broadcaster. He'll be joined by Brady Quinn.
How about the year Matthew Stafford's having?
A lot of people should be thinking about him maybe as part of that MVP conversation.
All right.
Or a little Sam Rosen, I'll take that, but I'm not sure what was going on.
Shout out Sam. And friend of the show, Sarah Kustok on the sideline.
Well, that's basketball, John.
That's right.
So a lot of hockey and basketball in that drop.
Well, what can you do? What can you do? Fox, 4:05, Jaguars, Broncos. Pretty good game.
Yeah, why is that 4:05?
Kevin Kugler's on the call.
And it's caught! It's a touchdown!
Joined by Daryl Johnston and Allison Williams.
I feel like I got invited to sit at the big kids table. This is awesome, so thank you.
It's an interesting game because I think there's a lot of us, Don, who don't believe in the Broncos, may not necessarily believe in the Jaguars, but one of these teams is probably going to win this game unless there's a tie. So
that is true, and both of them may win their divisions. We'll see.
And this would be one of those games you look back on and say that is a key win for either team. So that is definitely one. We have 2 more games in the 4:25 slot. Steelers-Lions on CBS 4:25. This is the one where you get hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
Jim Nantz with Tony Romo.
Hey, take your helmet off. Give it to me. Give it to me.
All
there
right.
you go. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. And Tracy Wolfson.
Wow, what a game, as we expected.
I hope so. I hope it's a good game. One more, 4:25. And who's not watching this one? Raiders, Texans, you kidding me? CBS, Andrew Catalan on the call.
Adam Catalan on Andrew.
Almost, Peter.
Damn it.
You got 4 more minutes. Charles Davis.
Take your shots downfield, Carolina.
Jason McCourty.
It's okay, Rondé.
And A.J. Ross.
Texans running back Joe Mixon dapping it up.
Hey, finally got A.J. Ross on a Texans game.
Nice.
Where that actually makes sense. Good for us. Sunday Night Football, Patriots, Ravens, a game that the 2 hosts that were on the show today are going to be keeping a close eye on.
That is right.
It's on NBC at 8:20, and it'll be Mike Tirico.
They still seem to resonate.
There are 3 teams.
Chris Collinsworth.
I love Wicked. I saw the play. I'm sophisticated.
And Melissa Stark.
Both sidelines have chicken broth and hot chocolate.
And on Monday night, the San Francisco 49ers take on the Fightin' Phillip Rivers of the Indianapolis Colts. ABC, ESPN, 8:15. Joe Buck on the call.
I have proof Joe Buck is the spawn of Satan.
Troy Aikman.
He is so hot inside.
Lisa Salters.
Welcome to the playoffs.
And Laura Rutledge.
Enjoy that flight.
Enjoy that flight. That's the announcer lineup. We have 2 minutes, and the reason I gave myself 2 minutes is because I'm waiting patiently by my phone to see if Peter Rosenberg will make picks for Week 16 of the NFL season. Don, we have 2 minutes, and he has not submitted anything yet.
He might be out. You know, we didn't get a chance to do this today with the Steve Cohen tweet from earlier.
Yes.
about, as typical, the usual idiots misinterpreting a Post article on Mets payroll for 26. I can't imagine our payroll to be lower than last year. It's always hard to predict, but that would be my best guess.
Different than how?
Yeah, a little bit different.
When asked that question. And one more thing, Don, because I know that this is a story that is captivating you. Travis Kelce spoke to the media today in Kansas City and was talking about his future.
I think I'd rather just keep the focus of the media and everything on this team right now. And all the conversations that I have with the team and everything moving forward will be with them. And it's a unique time in my life. And unfortunately, I got 3 games left, and I know when the season ends this year. Typically, we go into it and we don't know when it's going to end. And that's the beauty of it. But, yeah, just trying to make sure that everybody here knows that I'm focused on trying to win football games these last 3 games.
Okay, so he's gone.
All right, he gone.
That doesn't sound like somebody that is contemplating continuing his football career.
And he understands the significance of not just him, but his fiance and everything else, that him retiring would become a huge distraction. And you could say, so what? These 3 games are meaningless for Kansas City, but clearly they're not. They want to go out there and play and win these games and go out strong, and he knows that that's going to be a huge distraction.
A lot of guys on the Chiefs injury report, but this is Chiefs-Titans, Don. Like I still think the Chiefs find a way, even with Gardner Minshew, to win this game.
Yeah, I think the spread's only like 3.5.
I know.
But I stayed away from it because I just don't know what Minshew's going to do.
No, it's
just a very uninteresting game. But
that'll do it for ENN, guys.
Great job as usual, Anthony. Now, usually we go away for the week, but Alan and I are going to be on Monday. So we'll recap the whole weekend. Hopefully there'll be some baseball news to be able to break as well. So we're looking forward to all of that. Anthony, great job.
Thank you.
Jacob, great job as well. I will talk to you guys again on Monday. Knicks basketball is next. Knicks and Sixers right here on ESPN New York.
This college football season, show your school spirit every time you pay. Introducing college-branded Venmo debit cards. Rep your team on and off the field with custom designs that let